He's swung on and hit the into right field deep, and you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam to left power, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning.
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps from the back for one out, throws to first. It is in time, a double play.
And that one is gone! Joey Hefner!
A high drive, left field deep. Lozano going back, looking up. This ball is a two-run homer. P.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first year covering Newport Gulls baseball, here is play-by-play broadcaster Darren Zaslow.
Newport looks to begin its second win streak of the 2017 NECBL regular season here tonight as the Newport Gulls host the New Bedford Bay Sox at 6:35 p.m. here from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. New Bedford is 15-19 entering play here tonight, coming off a 10-1 loss against Danbury last night. New Bedford is led offensively by Luke Bacala. The Kansas product is hitting .331 this season. It's a very pesky Bay Sox offense. New Bedford leads the NECBL offensively in doubles with 57. Newport, on the other hand, the Gulls are 12-19 entering play here tonight, coming off a 3-2 win over Ocean State last night in South Kingstown, Rhode Island. Carter Aldretti homered for the third consecutive game in a row. The Arizona State product is now on a 9-game hitting streak. Aldretti is now hitting .274 on the season. His go-ahead two-run home run helped lift Newport in that ball game. Darren Zaslow with you here on the Newport Gulls pregame show. It is Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night here at the ballpark. 500 free Newport Gulls team posters are being given out courtesy of Regine Printing. It's Newport and New Bedford. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. The Newport Gulls pregame show starts right now.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm here alongside Georgia Bulldogs pitcher Trevor Tinder. Trevor, huge game for the Gulls last night, able to pick up the 3-2 win over the first place Ocean State Waves. How big was that?
Yeah, we tend to do a lot better against the best teams in the league. I guess our just focus is a little bit higher, but it was a great win. Huge for us, and hopefully we can get hot this year at the end of the summer.
So what's it going to take to get hot and win? You're 4.5 games out of that third playoff spot right now. What is this team going to have to do to reach the playoffs?
Well, we definitely have the talent, that's for sure. I think a lot of us have the confidence to do it. Just, we got to do the little things right. With runners in scoring position, you got to, move them in. We got to bunt when we get the opportunity to bunt, and just do the little things right. So, and the pitching staff, the rotation has to, keep it close. So,
now going back to your college career, you started playing at the U.S. Military Academy in West Point. You were there for 1 year, and then you transferred to Georgia. Tell us, what was that like? What decided the transfer, and why the Military Academy to begin with?
Right. So I never thought about going to the military in high school, but they contacted me for baseball, and I was like, I'm gonna take a look at it. Thought about it long and hard, and prayed about it a lot, and just felt like it was the best opportunity for me, and why not go for it? And so I went there, and it was definitely a culture shock. There's a lot of things that I wasn't expecting, but overall it was a tremendous experience. It made me appreciate the people who serve for our country a lot more. But overall I just realized that it wasn't a career I wanted to pursue. It wasn't in my heart, and it wasn't my passion, and so I realized I should probably not go there and just try to play baseball somewhere else. And it was tough because it was tough leaving those people. But it definitely helped me grow a lot as a person, and it was one of the best years of my life, honestly. And so ended up at Georgia, a huge blessing. God definitely answered that prayer. Love where I am right now, and definitely feel like I'm right where I need to be. So
So you're at Georgia, like you just said. What's it like playing in the SEC, and what's it like compared to baseball at West Point?
Right. So the SEC is, great competition. On the weekend, we have guys throwing, low to mid 90s with ease. So it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a lot of fun to compete against the hitters. You got hitters, in the top 5 rounds every single year. First round, I think there's probably a handful of first rounders this year from the SEC. So it's definitely a very competitive league. A lot of fun. I definitely feel blessed to play in the SEC. But as far as West Point was, very good baseball. They just got a new coach recently, and they're getting a lot better. Obviously, the competition isn't the depth isn't as good, but they still got some really tremendous players. So, the SEC is, better, but West Point, that wasn't the reason why I left, was for the better competition. But the guys on the team that I knew from West Point, they were shockingly good. They were just guys that wanted to go to the military and as well as pursue a baseball career. So yeah, it wasn't, that's the biggest difference, just the competition.
Do you have any allegiances to the Army still? They won the Army-Navy football game. Did you watch that at all?
Oh, yeah. I was watching it. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the biggest rivalry in college sports. I know Duke-UNC is huge, but, so I was watching it on my phone and going absolutely insane, especially since it's been, I think 14, 15 years. So I was so happy for those guys. I was FaceTiming them and everything. But yeah, no, I'll always be an Army, fan. I'll always be rooting for those guys and be keeping in touch with them. So,
former U.S. cadet Trevor Tinder, I'm Dave Peck. The pregame show continues next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the front office report. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside the Director of Baseball Operations for the Newport Gulls, Mike Falcone. Mike, you were here in Newport last year, the Director of Ticket Operations. Can you talk about that experience and how that prepared you for your role this year?
Yeah, so like you said, I was here in Newport last year. Just interning in general helped me get acclimated to the organization, kind of how everything runs day to day. I mean, when you go to the other parks in the league, nobody really does it quite like us when it comes to the pregame ceremony. Some teams might not really appreciate how long they're standing out there on the line, but pregame ceremonies, just how we do things in the community, kind of just helped me understand a little bit of what the Newport Gulls culture was like.
You played baseball at Salve Regina right down the road for a couple years. Is it fun working in baseball in a sport that you played for a long time throughout your life?
Yeah. No, it's definitely a passion of mine. I mean, I know you said played, but I rarely got out on that field, but it still just kind of allowed me to stay in with my passion. It's something that you grow up loving. You always want to be in the majors, and I mean, this is, I guess, my way up there. Maybe I'm not on the field, but to be in the background is just going to be it's a dream come true doing this, and hopefully it continues for a long time.
As the Director of Baseball Operations, Mike, what are your day-to-day responsibilities and duties here in Newport?
So, I mean, it really just, you wake up on game day, you start putting out those A-frames out all across the Aquidneck Island here, making sure our banners are looking good, making sure the field's looking good. Then it comes down to who we got on the roster, seeing who's active, seeing who's deactive, getting the program ready for the fans, the promotional items, who we got coming in, whether it's a sponsor or if we're taking care of the sponsorship of the night. It's just really a lot of things you wouldn't expect from a baseball game are things that I kind of handle day to day, which, again, like, dream come true to do.
Certainly a very intense job here with the Gulls. Mike, what would you say is the most gratifying part of your job?
Most gratifying, I would definitely say just the preparation leading up to each night, whether it's coordinating an honor guard or a national anthem singer. It's just fun to see, and even the banners when you're acquiring these sponsors and partners, just kind of seeing it all play out, like on game day, when you can kind of sit in the stands and just take a deep breath and be like, all right, let's watch some baseball rather than planning out the day. That's got to be the best. And then, of course, if the team's winning.
It's Newport and New Bedford here at Cardines Field on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. First pitch is set for 6:35 p.m. For the Director of Baseball Operations with the Newport Gulls, Mike Falcone, I'm Darren Zaslow. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Thanks, Darren.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Broadcasters Roundtable. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. Dave, a huge matchup here tonight in the NECBL's Southern Division, Newport and New Bedford. The Gulls 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for that third and final playoff spot, coming off a 3-2 win over Ocean State last night. Fair to say, one of the bigger wins of this season.
Absolutely huge win yesterday, but they need to ante up and get one tonight for it to mean anything, Darren. All these games from here on out are huge, especially this one. You cannot forget New Bedford is ahead of the Gulls in the Southern Division, so they want this one just as badly as the Gulls do. You got to think they're going to be bringing their A game, and, you know, the road to the playoffs starts today.
New Bedford, like you mentioned, 3 games behind Mystic for that third and final playoff spot in the NECBL's Southern Division. But this Newport team led offensively recently by Carter Aldretti. He has been excellent. He homered for the third consecutive game in a row last night, a 2-run shot to push Newport past Ocean State in that ball game. Aldretti out of Arizona State also on a 9-game hitting streak. What have you seen from him?
He's just doing a great job letting the ball get deep and taking the ball where the pitch is thrown, and he's gone all 3 home runs to right field, which really is impressive, and it shows that he's locked into what he's doing. I was talking to him early on, and he mentioned that earlier in the season, you know, he hadn't seen a fastball in about a month because his season at Arizona State had ended, and you could see that there was a little rust, but you know, he's gotten more at-bats, and at this point, I think we've seen him kind of come into his own here within the last 9 games.
This is the third time here at Cardines Field the Gulls have hosted New Bedford. Dave, when you look at this New Bedford offense, very enigmatic. They lead the league with 57 doubles, but they have the fewest home runs in the league with 14. From the Bay Sox, it's an offense that certainly has to get going here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier off the air, you know, they play in a ballpark that is very deep, so that could have something to do with their lack of home runs. But honestly, doubles are just as good as home runs if you can get as many as they have, and look for them to get aggressive here early at Cardines Field tonight. And like I said, they want this one just as much, so the Gulls have to bring it in order to get the win.
Newport 12-19 entering play. New Bedford 15-19. For Dave Peck, I'm Darren Zaslow. The Newport Gulls pregame show continues next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It is time for the Coaches Report. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Newport Gulls pitching coach Kevin Winterode. Kevin, a huge win for Newport last night over Ocean State, 3-2. What did you see from the pitching staff in that ball game?
I thought we pitched really well. Kyle always does a good job, but the guys that came in behind him executed well and gave us a good opportunity to win the ball game.
13 games remain on the regular season slate for Newport. Of course, this is the back end of the season. How have the arms been holding up thus far?
Pretty good. I think the beauty to our team is we do have depth. Not everybody still has depth, but we do, and we just need a lot of guys to contribute, especially in the next week.
The Gulls are 4.5 games behind Mystic for that third and final playoff spot in the NECBL Southern Division. Kevin, is that a number that you think about at all?
Not really. I mean, what any good team worries about themselves, and if we take care of our business, everything else will take care of itself.
It's Newport and New Bedford. First pitch set for 6:35 p.m. For Kevin Winterode, I am Darren Zaslow. Newport Gulls baseball is up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Darren Zaslow and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
And we'd like to welcome you to Cardines Field here In the city by the sea, Newport, Rhode Island, the site for a Southern Division matchup in the New England Collegiate Baseball League between the visiting New Bedford Bay Sox and the Newport Gulls. Darren Zaslow with you here in the broadcast booth located behind home plate, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt, and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. We are all here with you anticipating, Alex, what should be a very good matchup between these two teams. New Bedford 15-19 overall entering play here tonight, coming off a 10-1 loss against Danbury. But this is a big game for the Bay Sox, who are just 3 games behind Mystic for that third and final playoff spot. That's probably a number the Bay Sox are looking at a lot here during the final stretch.
Yeah, they just came off a home and home doubleheader series, if you can believe that. 4 games in 2 days, all against Danbury. It didn't exactly come out the way they wanted to. They needed to win the series 3-1 if they were going to at least even the season series against Danbury, which might be a very big tiebreaker because the Westerners are now a game in front of New Bedford in the season standings. So because of that, a split is kind of neutral. A win tonight becomes a much bigger deal if they can pull it off.
Dave, Newport entering play tonight at 12-19, 4.5 games behind Mystic for the third and final playoff spot. So a game and a half separates both of these two teams. Fair to say a real make-or-break matchup here tonight for Newport.
It is, and this is actually the last time they will see each other this season. So it's obviously a big one for both these teams, and it should be a great competitive baseball game, I would guess. You know, these two teams, they've been some blowouts and there have been some close games when they have matched up against each other, but we're deep in the season. Everybody knows what these two teams are about, and it's just a matter of executing.
Certainly is a huge matchup here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. 500 free Newport Gulls team posters were given out before the game, courtesy of Regine Printing. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take you through last night's NECBL scoreboard and the current standings. Once again, this is the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we welcome you back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. First pitch between New Bedford and Newport set for 6:35 p.m., a key Southern Division matchup in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt. Now we'll throw things over to Gulls field reporter Dave Peck for a look around the NECBL scoreboard from last night and the current league standings. How you doing, Dave? Good, Darren. Thank you. About 6 games were in progress last night. Valley Blue Sox able to edge out the Sanford Mainers 11-2. North Adams Steeplecats get the win against Swamp Bats. That one, they score of 14-6. The Gulls able to edge out the Ocean State Waves 3-2 over at Old Mountain Park. And the Upper Valley Nighthawks continue their winning ways with a 4-0 win over the Vermont Mountaineers. Mystic Schooners blow out the Pilgrims with a 14-0 game, and the Danbury Westerners get the win over the Bay Sox. That one 10-1 at Paul Walsh Field, Darren. The key game that Bay Sox fans and Gulls fans will be keeping their eyes on tonight, Valley and Mystic, an absolutely huge game out in Groton, Connecticut. And, of course, that brings us to those league standings. Yeah, we'll go to the Northern Division first. Upper Valley Nighthawks still holding on. They have a 3.5 game lead over the Valley Blue Sox for that first spot in the Northern Division. Keene Swamp Bats in third place. They're holding on to that playoff spot, followed by the Vermont Mountaineers at 15-19. North Adams Steeplecats 14-19. And then Winnipesaukee and Sanford rounding out the Northern Division. We look at the Southern Division. Ocean State Waves still 5 games up on the Pilgrims for that first place spot. Mystic in third. They are holding on to that last position for the playoffs. Danbury, New Bedford, and Newport all chasing them for this final stretch of the NECBL season for that playoff spot, Darren. Absolutely, Alex. Before we take another break here before the national anthem, this New Bedford offense is very interesting. And I bring that up because this is a team that does not have a lot of power. They have the fewest home runs in the NECBL at 14. But here's the intriguing number. They lead the NECBL in doubles with 57. Do you credit that to Paul Walsh Field? Do you credit that to the ballpark, or is that just the way that this offense is constructed?
It really is a combination of both. I think the ballpark encouraging a doubles team, and I think they've built their team that way. and then a combination, again, of the team that they actually have out on the field. You have a lot of doubles hitters in the lineup. Corey Joyce, a doubles hitter. Nick Matera, a doubles hitter, even though now he's popped 4 home runs. Got a couple last week just to up that count. But it really is a doubles team. The only true power hitter in the lineup is Dan Schock, who's got 6 homers on the season and is their leading run producer as well. So, yes, I do think it's the ballpark, but I think it's because the ballpark also influenced the construction of the team.
Absolutely. Well, that's something definitely to keep an eye on here tonight. It's New Bedford and Newport. Don't go anywhere. We will get you the national anthem when we come back right after this. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we welcome you back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. This is Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night at Cardines Field. 500 free Newport Gulls posters have been given out courtesy of Regine Printing. As you can see on your screen in front of you, lots of first pitch recipients here tonight. Andrea Soares, Stephen Weed, Julia Santos, Mayor Harry Winthrop, President of the Senate Dominic J. Ruggiero, United States Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, all throwing out the first pitches here tonight at the ballpark once again here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. Dave, we'll turn things over to you here because, of course, this is a very intriguing matchup. Newport as well. You have to talk about Carter Aldrete. The job that he has done out of Arizona State for Newport recently. 3 home runs, a huge 2-run shot to lift Newport over Ocean State last night, a go-ahead homer. He has homered in 3 consecutive games. He's on a 9-game hitting streak. We talked about him in the pregame show. Once again, he is in the starting lineup here tonight. He has really helped, been a catalyst of this offense.
Certainly has, Darren, and that's been a huge part of this team's recent success, I guess you could say. Not that they're winning every game, but they've certainly been in a lot more, and it's nice to see their number 2 batter kind of coming into his own. We knew what this kid had when he came to Newport, and it took a few games, like we talked about in the pregame show, for him really to adjust to summer baseball, maybe a few cobwebs, maybe getting used to the wood bat, a couple of factors playing into that, but you said it right. He's certainly come to his own, and he's hitting the ball to right field, which means he's seeing the ball well, he's seeing the ball deep, and he's being patient, and that's a huge part of batting, especially in the NECBL.
A very interesting date tomorrow as well, Dave. The doubleheader for Newport, we want to tell you about it. The Gulls will host Winnipesaukee here at Cardines Field at 1 o'clock p.m. Then Newport will travel out to Ocean State for a 6:30 p.m. matchup in Game 6 of the Pell Bridge Series against the Waves. For Winnipesaukee, though, a very similar situation. Of course, they travel here to Newport to take on the Gulls at 1 o'clock. Then they go out to New Bedford to take on the Bay Sox. So, again, you look at these doubleheaders, these are really the must-win games. These are the settings that are probably the most difficult to play consistent baseball in.
Yeah, you're right, and we talked about when these games were rained out, how would the teams be playing when they had that extra game towards the end of the season. What it's going to come down to is, mental toughness. How much do you want to be here? How much do you want to get the win? And how much focus can you have for 18 innings of baseball? Because you and I know very well that a sweep in a baseball game doubleheader is very hard to do, especially when they're not at the same ballpark. There's going to be a bus ride in between these 2 ball games for both teams here. So it'll be interesting to see how the Gulls respond to that, as well as Winnipesaukee. But as far as Southern Division relevancy, it's a huge day for the Gulls.
Alex, can you kind of take us into the mindset of this New Bedford team? Like we mentioned, 15-19 entering play, 3 games behind Mystic. What's sort of the mindset and the focus of the team? Because, of course, these playoffs are really right around the corner. Yeah,
they definitely feel the sense of urgency to make the playoffs. And I think that they understood the importance of the 4-game series they just had against Danbury. Last night, the final game of the series at home didn't go so well for them. They ended up splitting both days of the doubleheader. And in last night's game, late in the game, there was a bit of fire showed by the Bay Sox. Danbury dropped down a late bunt, up I think 9-1 at that point in the 7th inning. Didn't really go over too well, got the Bay Sox fired up, and it was at a point in the game where the bats were really dead. They were tired. Pitching had not come through for them the way that they had expected to. as well. We'll pause here for the national anthem, but they're going to be fired up tonight. I can promise you that.
Certainly will be a great game. It's Newport and New Bedford. First pitch set for 6:35 here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. We'll send it down to the field for the national anthem being sung by Sarah Fournier, 19 years old, from Portsmouth High School's vocal ensemble.
Performing tonight's national anthem is Sarah Fournier. She's 19 years old, from Portsmouth High School. She's part of the vocal ensemble alumni.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A beautiful national anthem sung by Sarah Fournier. She's 19 years old, from the Portsmouth High School vocal ensemble alumni. Newport and New Bedford, a Southern Division matchup here in the New England Collegiate Baseball League, is up next right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Newport and New Bedford. The Southern Division matchup here in the NECBL is up next right here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. 500 free Newport Gulls team posters were given out before the game, courtesy of Regine Printing. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxow, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Lovett, and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth located behind home plate. New Bedford is 15-19 entering play. Newport 12-19. 1.5 games separates both of these teams in the NECBL's Southern Division standings. And for the starting lineup for the New Bedford Bay Sox, we'll send things over to the voice of the Bay Sox, Alex Lovett.
Thank you so much, Darren. The Bay Sox will lead off with Chandler DeBras out of Central Connecticut State. He'll play shortstop. The number 2 hitter is Zach Scott. He will play second out of St. Leo's University. Luke Bacala is the first baseman out of Kansas. The cleanup hitter, Nick Matera, is the DH out of Rutgers. Dan Schock will play right field out of Sacred Heart and bat fifth. Mike Martinez out of Rutgers will bat sixth. He will play left. Nick Neville, the third baseman out of Notre Dame, will bat seventh. Cody Doyle will catch out of Sacred Heart and bat eighth, and Jordan Fucci out of Sanford will play center field and bat ninth. And on the mound for the Bay Sox, Fino Brito out of Rutgers.
They will go to work against Jack Patterson, the southpaw out of Bryant University. He is 0-2 this year, a 5.68 ERA and 25.1 innings pitched. He has given up 38 hits, has struck out 28, and has walked 9. And now the starting lineup for the hosts here tonight, the Newport Gulls, under the direction of second-year manager Al Leyva. For the Gulls, they will start out with the left fielder Cameron Meisner out of Missouri. He is the leadoff man. Batting second here tonight is Carter Allegretti, the second baseman out of Arizona State. In the number 3 spot is Andrew Dashbach, the third baseman from Stanford. Batting fourth, the catcher out of Oklahoma, Dominic Dorenzo. In the number 5 spot, the right fielder, J.J. Blade from Vanderbilt. Batting sixth is the first baseman, Liam McGill from Columbia. The designated hitter out of Oklahoma State is Cade Cabanis. He bats 7th. Batting 8th is the shortstop, Bruce Steele from Wake Forest. And rounding out the Newport lineup, the center fielder, J.C. Flowers out of Florida State. And they will go to work against Fino Brito, the right-hander out of Rutgers. And here's Alex to tell you more about him.
Fino Brito, as you said, out of Rutgers, so far this season has made 5 starts for the Bay Sox. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 5.40. He's given up 17 runs, 13 of them earned. He's struck out 27, walked just 8. Keep that in mind. That's over 21 2/3 innings. Fino Brito does not walk many this season at Rutgers. He was 3-9, yes, with a 4.84 in 74 1/3 innings, but he struck out 47 and walked just 10. Fantastic command, does not issue many free passes, and in fact, his last time out against the Mystic Schooners, he pitched 5 innings, giving up just 1 earned run. He had 8 strikeouts in that game and didn't walk anyone, so you're going to have to really work the count to get a free pass against Fino Brito.
Your umpire is here tonight. Behind home plate, Cameron Haney. On the bases, Tom Magier and Robert McHugh. And your Newport weather, a perfect night for baseball. Partly cloudy skies, 78 degrees, 10-mile-per-hour winds. It'll touch down to about 76 around the 9 o'clock p.m. mark. That is around where this game will end by, at least if it's played at an average pace. So, that being said, we will also take you through the starting defensive alignment for the Newport Gulls from left to right around the Newport infield. Andrew Dashbach mans the hot corner. He's at third. Bruce Steele is at shortstop. Carter Allegretti is at second. Liam McGill is at first. From left to right along the Newport outfield, Cameron Meisner is in left field. J.C. Flowers in center. J.J. Blade is in right. Catching the balls and strikes from Jack Patterson is Dominic Dorenzo. Your field dimensions here at the ballpark: 315 feet down the left field line, 365 in the left center field alley, 395 to deep center field, 340 in the right center field alley, and 285 down the right field lines. There you can see what Guardians Field looks like in front of you. Of course, the fences here at the ballpark are 28 feet high. And among the many unique features of the ballpark, of course, the hockey-style dugouts located down the first base line. Newport's dugout closer to home plate. New Bedford's dugout is closer to first base. The Gulls are dressed in their Friday alternate orange jerseys. Newport written in white from left to right. The numbers on the front and the back of the jersey are orange, or check that, white outlined in blue. The Gulls also wear white pants with a blue and orange stripe down the sides. New Bedford dressed in their road red tops with Bay Sox written in navy blue from left to right, outlined in white. The numbers are only on the back of the jersey. They are navy blue outlined in white. And the Bay Sox also wear gray pants with a red stripe down the sides. Chandler DeBras will step in, the shortstop out of Central Connecticut State. He will face Jack Patterson. And we are just about ready for baseball here in the city by the sea. Patterson winds and fires the first pitch of the ball game. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. First pitch thrown at 6:44 p.m. The 1-0 from Patterson. He likes to work quickly. Deals another elevated fastball. Misses above the letters of DeBras. And the count 2-0.
Chandler scored the Bay Sox only run in a 10-1 loss in Game 2 last night.
2-0 fastball in there for strike 1, 2-1. We'll see what Patterson can do here. Next offering. Curveball in the dirt. Count pushes to 3 balls and a strike on DeBras out of Central Connecticut State entering play. A .292 batting average. He is 24 for 82. No homers and 6 RBI. Big hack and a miss there from DeBras. And the count pushes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Patterson winds and deals the payoff pitch. Here it is. Fastball, strike 3 called outside corner. Down looking goes DeBras. First strikeout of the night and of the ball game for Patterson, 1 away.
DeBras' 28th strikeout of the season, and the Bay Sox strikeout issues have returned. They've got 348 strikeouts on the season. They're averaging well over 10 a game.
So here is Zach Scott, the second baseman out of St. Leo. Scott hitting .256 entering play, 11 for 43, 8 runs scored. Bats from the left side. Looks at a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. It is 0-1 on Scott. Patterson deals the next offering. This one's skied in the air, down the left field line. Could be playable for Dashbach. He goes to the fence and looks it out of play. And the count pushes to 0-2. Patterson, after falling behind DeBras, starting to feel a little more comfortable, at least in this at bat, Alex, getting ahead of Zach Scott, 0-2.
Yeah, and Zach Scott is a guy who's earned his way up to this 2-hole. As the Bay Sox offense has faltered the last few days, Scott's on a 4-game hit streak, so he's earned the promotion.
He has a home run and 6 RBI as well, 0-2. Swing and a miss, elevated fastball, 2 outs, 2 strikeouts for Jack Patterson. And we'll see what Luke Bacala can do. He has been excellent this year. He is tied for the NECBL lead in hits with 43. He is also batting on the season, .331. The Kansas product is at first base here tonight for New Bedford. Wears a royal blue arm sleeve on the right side arm. Swings an all black bat. Digs in from the right side. Patterson deals. Fastball misses up in the zone. 1-0 on Luke Bacala. We are in the top half of the first. 2 away, bases empty. Newport and New Bedford are scoreless here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night.
Bacala was the only Bay Sox with 2 hits last night. As he's continued to put the ball in play time and time again.
The 1-0. Foul tipped into the mitt of Dorenzo, 1-1. Patterson thus far has thrown 11 pitches, 7 of which have been for strikes. He works quickly, deals the 1-0, change up, runs away, and a count 2 balls and a strike on Luke Bacala. Already has 2 strikeouts, 2-1. Fouled straight back, 2-2. He's 1 pitch away from striking out the side in order.
Yeah, we'll give credit to Patterson for that one because he's been in command really from the get-go, getting ahead of these hitters and hasn't missed with many.
2-2. Skips that one in the dirt. Once again, the count pushes full. 3-2 on Bacala. Patterson this year at Bryant, a 4-0 record. He was excellent. 14 appearances, 3 starts, had a 2.90 ERA through 40.1 innings, struck out 38. Gave up 35 hits and just 13 earned runs. He had 3 saves. Misses high with a fastball there. It's a 2-out walk to Luke Bacala to bring up the designated hitter, Nick Matera, out of Rutgers. Patterson threw the 5th most innings at Bryant this year. Also, he earned 4 varsity letters for soccer in high school at Suffield Academy.
The designated hitter.
So here is Matera, the designated hitter out of Rutgers. Matera hitting .277 entering play, 33 for 119. Has certainly logged a lot of playing time here in the NECBL. Looks at a breaking ball low and away for ball 1. And Alex, we've talked about this New Bedford offense, a team that's hitting .254. It's number 5 in the league. Off of first is Bacala, 1-0. Changeup breaks over the inner edge and the count 1-1.
Yeah, the offense has been a little bit quiet the past week, though. Their team average, as you mentioned, is .254. It had been .276 at the beginning of the week, but seems only a matter of time.
1-1, a big wave and a miss there from Matera. The count pushes to 1-2. Chandler DeBras and Zach Scott both struck out. Luke Bacala walked, sets the scene here for Matera with 2 away. Top 1, New Bedford and Newport are scoreless. 1-2 curveball misses in the dirt. Gets away from Dorenzo briefly. Moving up to second base is Matera. So New Bedford in business and the count 2-2.
I believe Bacala will get credit for a steal on that one, even though it got away a little bit. Didn't look like it was enough for a pass ball or a wild pitch.
So a single here could give New Bedford an early lead. Bacala off of second. Here's the pitch on the way. Changeup runs low and away. The count pushes full on Matera. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bacala takes a walking lead. Patterson works out of the stretch. Where's the high Royal Blue Sox on the mound? And sets. With a look towards second. Here's the pitch. This is low and inside for ball 4. After 2 back-to-back strikeouts to the 1 and 2 hitters in the Bay Sox lineup, and DeBras and Scott Patterson has walked Bacala and Matera. The 2-out walk puts runners on first and second for the right fielder Dan Schock out of Sacred Heart.
And this is a series of 3 batters that don't walk very much. Bacala and Schock with single digits walk count on the season. Matera just took his 11th.
Here's the pitch home. Fastball taken up and away. It's 1-0 on Dan Schock. He's hitting .263 this year, 30 for 114, 14 runs scored, 23 RBI. 9 walks, he has struck out 37 times. 1 out from Patterson. This is up and away, the count 2-0. Patterson falling behind the number 5 hitter in the New Bedford lineup in Dan Schock. We are in the top half of the first, 2 away, runners on first and second. New Bedford and Newport are scoreless here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And Alex, we've talked about this as well. It's a huge game for both of these teams, and it kind of has a must-win type of feel to it, of course, for Newport and New Bedford as well.
Yeah, and there's good reason for that. We talked about all the potential outcomes with the standings that could happen because of this game. Obviously, there's other games that are going on right now that will determine it, namely Danbury's game, Mystics' game. But really, the best way to control your destiny in this playoff picture is simply to win the division games. And it's right here in front of you for the taking.
Certainly, and another tough part about it is you have to focus on yourself. But at the same time, you don't necessarily control your own destiny. Newport and New Bedford pretty much in the same boat there, rooting for the Valley Blue Sox tonight against Mystic. Patterson deals home. A fastball that misses up and away. The count 3-0 on Dan Schock. Patterson has walked the past 2 hitters he has faced in Luke Bacala and Nick Matera. He sets and fires the 3-0. Fastball clips the inside corner for strike 1. Now 3-1 on Dan Schock.
Yeah, Danbury off tonight, as I'm sure you had mentioned earlier.
Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Nice outside fastball there from Patterson. Matera and Bacala will be off with the pitch.
Schock's second most strikeouts on this team, 37 of them.
Patterson gets the sign from DiRenzo. Both runners take off, the pitch home. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Huge strikeout for Jack Patterson. 5 hitters come up to the plate for the Bay Sox as Patterson works around 2-out walks. He has struck out 3. Newport takes its first swings of the night when we come back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Bay Sox and the Gulls are scoreless.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you about my dad.
To the bottom half of the first inning we go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Jack Patterson with 3 strikeouts for Newport. In the top half of the first, the Gulls will take their first swings of the night here in the frame. But before we see what Newport can do offensively, let's take you around the starting defensive alignment for the visiting New Bedford Bay Sox. They are managed by Kyle Fernandez. The assistant coaches are Rudy Bolger, Chris Cabe, and Teddy Regan. From left to right around the Bay Sox infield, Nick Neville mans the hot corner. He's at third. Chandler DeBross is at shortstop. The second baseman is Zach Scott, and at first is Luke Bacala. From left to right in the Bay Sox outfield, Michael Martinez is in left field. In center is Jordan Fucci. Dan Schock is in right. Catching the balls and strikes from Fino Brito is Cody Doyle. So here is Cameron Meisner, bats from the left side once again. The Missouri product in the leadoff spot here tonight. Meisner has been excellent this year. He's hitting .352, 38 for 108, 25 runs scored, 6 homers and 21 RBI. Bats from the left side. Brito out of Rutgers winds and deals to Meisner. This one lined over the leap of the shortstop DeBross into center field, a base hit. A leadoff single for Cameron Meisner sets the scene for Carter Aldretti, the second baseman out of Arizona State. He's been great as well for Newport. He's on a 9-game hitting streak. He's homered in 3 consecutive games. One of those home runs occurring last night in the 3-2 win over Ocean State. A go-ahead 2-run shot for Aldretti. He's looking to continue this excellent run here tonight at the plate.
And Cam Meisner's pretty scary too. Pretty sure he's, now on a 9-game hit streak with this base knock. I mean, top of this order, they can get the job done.
Now Dreddy steps in from the right side. Off of first is Meisner. He's held on by Bakula. First pitch, a fastball skipped in the dirt there by Brito. It is 1-0 on Aldretti. He's hitting .274 this season, 17 for 62. 8 RBI, 10 walks. He has struck out 16 times. 3 homers for Aldretti as well. Brito works out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber. Tan glove set, belt high. Meisner hesitated going there, 1-0. Lifted in the air, shallow left field. Oncoming is Martinez to his right, reaches up and puts it away with one hand for out number 1. That's a big out there for Brito.
And you know Fino's going to end up putting the ball over the plate. Even if you work him into a full count, the ball's going to end up being over. He's not going to try and make you chase on 3-2. In some ways, that makes it predictable. In some ways, that means that he's gotten really good at pitching to contact to get outs. So, you know, it can work both ways, but swinging early is never a bad idea.
Well, this is Andrew Dashbach, the third baseman out of Stanford, will step in. He's hitting .320 this year. 31 for 97, 15 runs scored, and 16 RBI. Meisner off of first. Bakula holds him. Meisner goes. Pitch a called ball. Throw to second from Doyle is in time. Meisner caught stealing. What a throw from Doyle.
And Cody Doyle with his 12th caught stealing of the season. Had a little bit of a rough day on Saturday I'm getting all my days mixed up. On Tuesday, in the first day of the doubleheader, he allowed 4 stolen bases on 5 attempts, but Cody's brought it back since then, had a good series against Danbury, and throws out his first chance tonight.
Pitch was a called ball. Now Brito evens the count there, getting the fastball over the outside edge at the knees for strike 1. Bottom 1-2 away, bases empty. New Bedford and Newport are both scoreless. Brito holds the tan glove in front of his face. He kicks and fires. A fastball. This one's skied in the air. Deep right field. Backing up on it is Schock to the fence. Reaches up and makes the play about 3 feet in front of the right field fence for out number 3. It's an F9 if you are keeping score with us at home. Newport retired in order. 1, 2, 3. For the Gulls, no runs, no hits, no New Bedford errors, none left aboard. We go to the top half of the second here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, where the Gulls and the Bay Sox are scoreless right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the top half of inning number 2, we go here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. 500 free Newport Gulls team posters were given out before the game, courtesy of Regine Printing. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Lovett, and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth located behind home plate. And for the Bay Sox, they'll try and take an early 1-0 lead here. We'll see what they can do with Michael Martinez, Nick Neville, and Cody Doyle. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 due up against Patterson. Martinez steps in from the left side. Check swing on an outside fastball. He went around. It is 0-1. Martinez this year for the Bay Sox out of Rutgers, hitting .239. Looks at a fastball now in the inside corner. It's 0-2.
Yeah, he's had a hit in 9 of the 13 games since coming to the Bay Sox to join his teammate from Rutgers, Matera, here with New Bedford.
He's 11 for 46. Takes a fastball down and away, 1-2. No home runs and an RBI. He's also walked twice and has struck out 19 times. He resides in West New York, New Jersey. Big swing and a miss on a breaking ball low and away for strike number 3. 4th strikeout thus far for Patterson. He's been excellent. Here is Nick Neville, the third baseman out of Notre Dame.
The third baseman, number 35.
Neville hitting .248 this season. 29 for 117. 14 runs scored, 16 RBI, 16 walks, 41 strikeouts for the Fairfax, Virginia native. Bats from the left side here. Swings a tan-barreled bat, the black handle, the red and blue batting gloves. First pitch. Fastball taken up and away for ball 1.
Yeah, Neville leading the Bay Sox in strikeouts. Does have a better, though, strikeout to walk ratio than Dan Schock, who is second.
1 out. Big wave and a miss there from Neville. 1-1. We are in the top half of the second. 1 away. No body on base for the Bay Sox. New Bedford and Newport are both scoreless. Patterson holds the tan glove, letter high, now puts it over his head, the 1-1. Taken down and away, 2 balls and a strike. New Bedford has yet to put the ball in play against Patterson through 1 1/3.
It's become too typical.
2-1 pitch. Curveball fouled off left side, and the count levels here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patterson thus far, pitch count going up a little bit. He has thrown 35 pitches, 18 of which have been strikes, and Alex, he's been almost effectively wild here. 2-2. Once again, fouled straight back. Which is an underrated trait in my opinion. If you can be effectively wild, you maybe walk a couple batters, but maybe you miss way inside with a pitch, and then you can paint the knees on the outside corner. It's tough to hit.
Yeah, and he made Nick Neville swing it. What would have been ball 3 right there.
2-2. Changeup misses above the letters, and the count pushes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. It is the 3rd, check that, 4th full count the Bay Sox have worked here tonight. It's on the way. Swing and a miss. And a curveball in the dirt, caught there by Dorenzo. Patterson just recorded his 5th strikeout in 7 batters faced. Here is Cody Doyle, the catcher out of Sacred Heart on the season, is hitting 193. 17 for 88, 7 runs scored, 3 RBI, and 6 walks for the Sacred Heart product. Still, the Bay Sox have yet to put the ball in play. First pitch, chopped foul, third base side. And the count 0-1.
Yeah, what's really happened, the Bay Sox approach, there's really nothing that's changed about it. They still have a good approach to the plate. You talked about them working the count pretty well.
Here's the 0-1. Two-seam fastball runs wide of the zone. It's 1-1.
But what they've become prone to is sort of long multi-inning stretches of sort of barrenness.
Next pitch taken off the outer third, 2 balls and a strike. I can't remember the last time I've seen 7 batters up in a lineup not put the ball in play. 2-1 pitch, cut on and missed. And of course, that's not a knock against New Bedford because they have worked 2 walks and they've worked 4 full counts. They've been productive. But still, can't remember if I've seen that before. 2-2 offering. Taken inside, and we will see the 5th payoff pitch here tonight in an at-bat from Patterson. You don't see that too often in the game of baseball. Here's the 3-2. This one chopped back to the mound, grabbed there on a hop by Patterson. He will throw on to first, and the inning is over. So Cody Doyle puts the ball in play against the Bryant left-hander, but bounces it right back to him. Doyle is retired 3-1 if you're keeping score with us at home. For the Bay Sox, no runs, no hits, no Newport errors, none left aboard. It's a perfect frame for Patterson. We go to the bottom half of the second. Newport and New Bedford are all tied up at 0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The bottom half of inning number 2. We go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. The Gulls and the Bay Sox are currently scoreless right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And for Newport, they'll try and take an early lead here with hitters 4, 5, and 6. Dominic Dorenzo, J.J. Blade, Liam McGill, all due up for the Gulls to face Fino Brito, the right-hander out of Rutgers, who enters his 2nd full frame of work. He faced the minimum in the first inning after giving up a leadoff single to Cameron Meisner. Carter Andretti and Andrew Dashbach flew out, and Doyle was able to throw out Meisner trying to steal second base. So Brito here looking to replicate that first frame in terms of efficiency. Here's Dominic Dorenzo. He steps in from the right side. Dorenzo hitting .227 on the season. First pitch from Brito, misses up and inside. And the count 1-0 on the Oklahoma catcher.
Yeah, if you're Fino right here, you have to be feeling at least some pressure to be close to perfect. The offense not looking like it's in the groove right now.
1-0 taken down and away. The count 2-0 on Dorenzo. This year he hit 183 at Oklahoma. Started 20 games, played in 33. Went 15 for 82, 2-0. Misses upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. In 2016, though, with the Sooners, Played in 44 games, started 33. Hit 243, was named the Louisville Slugger Freshman All-American by Collegiate Baseball News. 3 out, fastball taken on the outside corner. Now 3-1. Dorenzo, a right-handed hitter, steps back in from the right side, wears the red batting glove, swings an all-black bat, the black wrist tape. Slightly bent knees in a squared stance. Lifts this one in the air. Right center field. It'll get down in the alley. Cut off there by Fucci, moving to his left. Another leadoff single here for the Gulls. This one off the bat of Dominic Dorenzo. Newport's second hit of the night. Brings up J.J. Blade, the right fielder out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that was a fastball that caught quite a bit of the plate. It was a four-seamer from Fino that, again, was just a little bit on the outer half, but not too much. Right out there like a tee.
J.J. Blade out of Vanderbilt steps in from the right side. Stands tall with an open stance. Brito out of the stretch, the pitch. Fastball in there for strike one on J.J. Blade. 6'3", 196 pounds. Drafted in the 39th round by the San Diego Padres last year. This year at Vanderbilt, made 48 starts, played in 51 games. He hit .256. Off of first is Dorenzo, the 0-1. Taken wide, the count 1 ball and 1 strike. At Vanderbilt, he was 42 for 164. Couple home runs, 22 RBI, 34 walks. Second most on the team in that category. See what Blade can do. 1-1, drilled. Deep center field, backing up is Fucci. It's over his head and rolls to the fence. Around second, heading for third is Dorenzo. He will stop there. Into second base with a no-out double is J.J. Blade. Puts runners on second and third. Newport in business with its third hit of the night.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to sound like, I guess, Mr. Negative here, because obviously I'm just calling it as I see it, but Jordan Fucci definitely misplayed that ball. He came in 2 or 3 steps and then realized it was going to get over his head, had to go back and ended up getting over his head, where if he had taken a step back to start, may have been able to snag that ball on a line out to center. As we look at the replay, yeah, that's exactly what happened. But it's, you know, that's not going to go as an error in the scorebook, but it's one of those that maybe could have had back.
Big spot here for Liam McGill out of Columbia. Second team All-Ivy Leaguer this season. Hit .338 in 38 starts. Bats from the right side here in the number 6 spot. Brito sets and fires. A fastball to called strike at the knees outside black. 0-1 on Liam McGill. He's hitting .143 this season for Newport. 8-4-56. 4 runs scored and 3 RBI. McGill bats from the right side. He swings an all-tan bat. Brito out of the stretch, the 0-1. Curveball chopped foul off the mitt of Doyle. Now 0-2. Newport has struggled with runners in scoring position with 1 out or less. Situational hitting has been an area of struggle thus far for the Gulls, but McGill can potentially put one in play here to give Newport an early lead. The Bay Sox infield plays halfway, meaning they are playing even with the bases. And here's the 0-2. Sharp ground ball up the middle, in the center field, a base hit. Dorenzo will score. They will hold up Blade at third. It's an RBI single for Liam McGill with no outs in the bottom half of the second to put Newport ahead 1-0. Runners on the corners for Cade Cabanis.
Yeah, that was just a good piece of hitting. Fino did what he needed to do right there. Pumping it into the zone and just got a pitch to hit. McGill forcing it right back up the middle. Middle of the infield was obviously open with runners on second and third. Defense back a little bit with not the infield totally in and able to punch it through for that RBI hit.
Great job there by Liam McGill. Cabanis on the season, hitting .164, bats from the left side. Brito sets the tan glove belt high. Deals home. Two-seam fastball misses off the outer third. It's 1-0 on Cabanis. Cabanis played for an excellent Oklahoma State team this year that won the Big 12, went to the Fayetteville Regional. Pickoff move over to first from Brito, not in time, as diving back in safely is Liam McGill. Runners on the corners. No one out. Bottom 2. Newport with a 1-0 lead over the Bay Sox. Cabanis is ready. So is Brito. And the 1-0. Fastball in there on the inside third for strike one. It's 1-1 on Cade Cabanis. At Oklahoma State, logged a lot of playing time for the Cowboys. Made 31 starts this year. Played in 42 games. Hit 274. He was 34 for 124. 7 doubles, a couple of triples, 2 homers as well, as Brito will once again check up there on Liam McGill. At 15 RBI, a .359 on base percentage. Cabanis was also a wide receiver at Bixby High School. Nice size lead for McGill over there. 1-1, check swing, elevated fastball. They say he did not go. The count 2-1. Thus far for Brito, pitch count starting to elevate. 20 pitches for the right-hander out of Rutgers, 12 of which have been for strikes. The next offering runs wide and upstairs. The count 3-1 on Cabanis. Dominic Dorenzo led off the frame with a single. Moved all the way around to third on J.J. Bladay's double. And Dorenzo would score on Liam McGill's single to center field. Newport with 4 hits already in the ballgame, 3 in a row in this frame alone. Brito once again will step off the rubber. Won't make a pickoff attempt over to first. He just looks back. McGill.
Brito has been able to throw his fastball for strikes tonight when he really needs it.
He sets and fires. A fastball misses up and inside for ball 4. It loads the bases, a no-out walk. Moves McGill into scoring position at second base. Cabanis aboard at first, and of course Bladay over there at third off his double.
Yeah, that's one you kind of expected to put over. It was just really off the black by a couple of millimeters. It didn't miss by much inside, but now Fino's got a bit of a jam to get himself out of with the bases loaded.
Big spot here for Bruce Steele, the Wake Forest shortstop. Off of first is Cabanis, off of second is McGill, off of third is Bladay. 3 hits, a run, and a walk already in the frame for Newport, as Steele looks at a curveball there down and away for a ball. Steele out of Wake Forest. Stands at 6'2", 185 pounds. Made 52 starts this year. For the Demon Deacons, he hit 242, 1-0. Fastball, clips the knees on the outside corner. 1-1 on Steele. He hit 13 home runs, had 38 RBI. A .383 on base percentage. 48 hits. That's what the bases loaded here with no one out. Brito gets the sign from Doyle. Target set low and inside, 1-1. This one lined in the left field, gets down a base hit. Bladay will score. To third base goes McGill. Stopping at second is Cabanis. It's a no-out RBI single for Bruce Steele to give Newport a 2-0 lead with no outs in the bottom half of the second.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a conveyor belt hit. Everybody moves up one spot. Still a massive scoring opportunity with the bases loaded, and he keeps the inning alive. And a chance now for JC. So good job by Steele. Now a chance for Flowers to really maybe get the inning going if he can rotate it back to the top of the batting order.
So we'll see what JC Flowers can do. Center fielder out of Florida State, bats from the right side. Brito deals home a fastball. This one chopped up the middle. Tough play for DeBras. Steps on the second base bag for one. Throw on to first is high and gets away there from Bacala. Pulls him off the bag. McGill will cross the plate. Cabanis will advance to third. It's an RBI ground out for J.C. Flowers. Newport extends its early lead to 3-0.
Wow, obviously it's not going to be an error because you can't assume a double play, but for all intents and purposes it would have been an inning-ending run-scoring play, but DeBras a little bit high into the left with the throw. No way Bacala could get it. And now the Gulls are back in business with the top of the order coming up, and still a scoring opportunity with 2 men on.
A 6 unassisted fielder's choice there Here is Cameron Meisner as Brito will throw over to first, and it gets away from Bacala. Cabanis will score. To second base goes Flowers. Newport up 4-0.
Kyle Fernandez has popped out of the dugout and making a long, slow walk to try and calm Fino Brito down on the mound. That will be an error. There's no doubt about that, as that's the second time this week that the Bay Sox have thrown a pickoff throwaway leading to a run.
What a huge inning for Newport. Still just one out in the frame off the Flowers RBI ground out. And Cameron Meisner up at the plate. He has not seen a pitch yet in this at-bat. Meisner 1 for 1 with a single. Meisner 6'4", 220 pounds, played for a Missouri team that went 36-23 overall this year. The Tigers earned the number 10 seed in the SEC tournament, but they were eliminated by South Carolina. Meisner, a 33rd round draft pick to the Kansas City Royals a year ago in the 2016 MLB draft. Played and started 58 games this year for the Tigers. He hit .282. 7 home runs, 34 RBI. Led the team in stolen bases with 17. This is a big spot here for Meisner. Off of second is J.C. Flowers. Reached on an RBI ground out, a fielder's choice. Then advanced to second base. Off the pickoff move, error there on Brito's attempt over to first. The pitch home to Meisner. Two-seam fastball runs up and away. The count 1-0. Alex, we've seen a lot of two-seam fastballs here from Brito. You were talking about the fastball that he's been throwing.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of movement.
It's been his ability to get that four-seamer over, but the two-seamer he's been missing a little bit outside and high to lefties. So we'll see if he can bring that down as we go on through the rest of this game.
1-0. Curveball waved at and missed there by Meisner. The count 1-1. We are in the bottom half of the second. One away, a runner on second. Newport with 4 runs in the frame. They lead 4-0. Off of 4 hits and a walk. Brito works out of the stretch, gets the sign from Doyle, sets the tan glove at the belt. Here's the 1-1. Curveball, sharp ground ball, a diving stop by the first baseman, Bacala. He'll take it to the bag himself. What a play by Luke Bacala. To third base goes J.C. Flowers for out number 2. What a play.
A desperation dive by Luke Bacala on the sharp ground ball down the line, and he makes a fantastic play, flashing the leather, guarding that first base line. He gets up, able to run over and tag the base in time. Everything about that play by Luke was done terrifically. And now maybe a chance to get out of this inning without further damage with 2 down.
So here's Carter Aldretti. He is 0 for 1 with a flyout. Aldretti, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of Arizona State. Played and started in 55 games for the Sun Devils. Takes a fastball up and inside for ball 1. It's 1-0 on Aldretti.
And that was another two-seamer that got away from him from Fino Brito. Should mention about Bacala, he's played all over the field, outfield and both corner infield positions, so he showed terrific fielding ability and versatility.
1-0. Fastball misses below the knees. The count 2 balls and no strikes. Aldretti at Arizona State this year hit .270 in those 55 starts. He had 55 hits and 204 at-bats. 3 homers and 31 RBI. He led the team in RBI. 2-0, curveball, catches the outside black. The count 2-1. His uncle, Mike Aldretti, played for the 1996 World Series champion New York Yankees. And his dad, Rich Aldretti, played for 6 years in the minor leagues. 2-1. Drilled. Deep right field. Back on it to his left goes Shock, and it's off the fence. Flowers will cross the plate. It's a 2-out RBI single from Carter Aldretti to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. Newport extends its lead to 5-0.
And that ball was scorched to the opposite field. A terrific piece of hitting by Carter Aldretti, and you mentioned how hot he is, just can't be slowed down. If that wall's a little bit shorter, it might have been a home run more than halfway up the advertising boards, and that tall right field wall more than enough to bring home the 5th run of this inning. How about that?
Andrew Dashbach is the 9th hitter to step up to the plate in this inning. Dashbach 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. That ended the first. 5-0 Newport. Bottom 2, 2 outs, a runner on first. The pitch home from Brito. Curveball. Misses for ball 1. Andrew Dashbach, a very versatile defensive player, 6'3", 220 pounds. Played in 29 games at Stanford this spring, started 13, he hit 183. Steps out of the box here against Brito. Had 4 doubles, 11 hits and 60 at-bats, a .269 on base percentage. He was a 3-sport high school athlete in baseball, basketball, and football at Sacred Heart Preparatory. 1-0. Runs wide, the count 2 balls and no strikes. Was also a 2016 Rawlings Perfect Game second team All-American. Brito looks into Doyle, he gets the sign, they agree on the signal. Off of first is Aldretti, a 9-foot lead, 2-0. Sharply lined foul, third base side, 2-1. Dashbach also drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays last year in the 40th round of the 2016 MLB draft. Swings an all-black bat from the right side, the blue and orange batting gloves. Slightly bent knees, a squared stance, and he holds the hands about fist length away from the back shoulder. Aldretti goes, pitch a called, ball throw to second from Doyle, not in time. Stolen base, Carter Aldretti.
It was another great throw by Doyle, but it was a curveball up and in that Dashbach actually had to duck out of the way of, so there was no way that he was going to be able to get Aldretti at second, but not for lack of effort. You see him duck out of the way. Another great throw by Doyle, just not in time.
It's 3-1 on Dashbach. Bats in the number 3 spot, the third baseman out of Stanford. It's a righty-righty matchup. Brito against Dashbach, the 3-1 home. Fouled straight back. Dashbach just missed it, 3-2. 2 outs in the frame. Off of a fielder's choice and a ground out as well. Certainly a big spot here for Newport. Leading 5-0. Bottom 2, 2 outs, a runner on second in Aldretti. He singled and stole second. It's a Rutgers-Stanford matchup, Brito against Dashbach. The payoff pitch, fastball, misses wide for ball 4. It's a 2-out walk to Andrew Dashbach. Puts runners on first and second for Dominic DiRenzo. The Gulls have batted around. DiRenzo 1 for 1. He began this inning with a single, and he scored on Liam McGill's RBI single. What an inning for Newport. Already for the Gulls, 5 runs have crossed the plate on 5 hits and 2 walks. Brito sets the tan glove at the belt. With a look towards second, here's the pitch home. This one chopped weakly left side. Tough play there by DeBras. He bobbles it, regathers, and throws to second, but not in time. Dashbach beats the throw. We'll see how they want to rule that one. It's going to be an infield single.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Miscommunication. Nick Neville's coming across. Chandler DeBras looks like he has it sized up pretty well, and they just kind of collide into each other, and they knock the ball around between them. Nobody ends up with it, so everybody is safe, and the inning keeps on going. How about Dom DiRenzo? He's got Brito figured out. He swung at both first pitches in this inning.
This is the 11th hitter to step up to the plate for the Gulls. It's J.J. Blade. Drills this one. Deep left center field. Back on it to his right goes Fucci. Reaches up and puts it away for out number 3. And the frame is over. But for the Gulls, they score 5 runs. Newport does it on 6 hits. They leave the bases loaded, 3 aboard with 2 New Bedford errors. We will go to the top half of the third with Newport out in front of New Bedford by a score of 5-0 right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the top half of the third we go. What a huge inning for Newport. 5 runs on 6 hits for the Gulls. Newport leads 5-0 As we head to the top half of inning number 3, the Bay Sox will try and chip into this deficit with hitters 9-1 and 2. Jordan Fucci, Chandler DeBras, Zach Scott all due up for the Bay Sox against Jack Patterson. The starter enters his third full frame of work out of Bryant. Deals a fastball on the outside black at the knees for strike 1 on Jordan Fucci, the center fielder out of Samford. 0-1 lifted in the air, straightaway center field, going in. Now going back is Flowers. Reaches up and puts it away for out number 1 on 2 pitches.
Carbon copy of the ball that was hit to Fucci in the bottom of last inning.
Great pitch there from Patterson. Brings back up the top of the lineup, and Chandler DeBras, the shortstop out of Central Connecticut State. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Thus far for Patterson, he has thrown 2 1/3 innings. He has recorded 5 strikeouts. First pitch. Changeup misses low. It's 1-0 on DeBras. Patterson has been excellent. The 1-0. Misses low. 2 balls and no strikes thus far for the Southpaw. He's thrown 48 pitches. 24 strikes and 24 balls. 2-0. Skied foul down the right field line. It will get out of play. Over the warehouse. Located, of course, down the right field line. The American flag waves over top. The Cardines Field scoreboard is located down the right field line as well. You can see it on your screen in front of you. 2-1. And the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Break-even delivery, found straight back. Still 2-2. The scoreboard here at Cardines Field, black and white. The numbers light up in red. The American flag currently not waving. Wind has died down. 2-2. Breaking ball misses above the letters of DeBras. And the count pushes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. DeBras hitting .289 on the season. Payoff pitch. Sharp ground ball. Right side. Gets through. In the right field, a base hit. First hit of the night for the New Bedford Bay Sox. It's off the bat of Chandler DeBras. Alex, maybe that will get New Bedford's offense going.
Yeah, they need to have something to get a little bit of a spark going. There have been a few moments over the last few days where you said, okay, this is the moment when they're going to break out. Had a great offensive output in Game 2, a big win against Danbury on Wednesday night. That was Game 2 of the 4-game set. But really, other than that, they've yet to sustain anything.
Patterson deals a curveball knee high on the outside black for strike 1 against Zach Scott, who is 0-4-1, the second baseman out of St. Leo. Next offering. Grounded to second, could be 2. Aldretti flips the second for 1, steals, relay to first, is in time. An inning ending 4-6-3 double play gets Patterson out of the frame. 3 up and 3 down for the Bay Sox. Another perfect frame for the Bryant lefty for New Bedford. No runs on 1 hit. They leave no one aboard with no Newport errors. We are through 2.5 full innings of play here at the ballpark. With a score, Newport 5, New Bedford nothing. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the bottom half of the 3rd inning we go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Newport currently leads over the New Bedford Bay Sox by a score of 5-0 here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. And now we'll send things over to Gulls field reporter Dave Peck for a look around the NECBL scoreboard.
Thank you, Darren. Up at Winnipesaukee, the Mainers have a 3-0 lead on the Muskrats there in the bottom of the 6th inning. And in Groton, Connecticut, Valley Blue Sox ahead of the Schooners 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. That's certainly a big one for both these clubs playing at Cardines tonight. And there's no score in the top of the 4th between the Ocean State Waves and the Vermont Mountaineers. Also in the top of the 4th, it is 6-4 North Adams over the Nighthawks, and it's 4-0 Plymouth over Keene. In the bottom of the 3rd. Darren, back to you.
Thank you so much, Dave. So for Newport, if the score were to hold as Liam McGill steps in, looks at a fastball high for ball 1, the Gulls could pick up a game on the Mystic Schooners as well as New Bedford. McGill swings and misses over top. A changeup there from Brito. It is 1-1. But Alex, worst case scenario, if New Bedford were to drop this game, you at least don't lose any ground on Mystic as well.
Yeah, that's the big point. You do want to win those division games, but at least you're not losing any ground on the target.
1-1 curveball, misses inside, 2-1. Sometimes the way you have to look at it, here, in the back end of the season when every game means so much to both of these teams, like we've talked about. Brito deals the next pitch. Misses high. 3-1 on McGill. Newport currently out hitting New Bedford outscoring New Bedford 5-0, but 7-1 in the hits column. 3-1. Hard ground ball to short. Glove there by DeBras. Shuffles to his left. High throw to first. Pulls Bacala off the bag, but he applies the tag to a sliding Liam McGill for out one. Love to get a replay of that because that was a close play over there at first. You can see on your screen in front of you. Great job by DeBras to field that ball, but the high throw down the first base line. Yeah, you can tell Bacala got the tag on him just in time. Great play by Bacala once again.
Yeah, again, he brings it down. Chandler DeBras has fired a couple high, but Bacala really is at a solid glove over there. He snagged that ground ball, and he's brought down a couple of wide throws.
So Liam McGill is now 1 for 2 with a run scored after the ground out. Here's Cade Cabanis, fouls the first pitch back he sees. Cabanis with a walk and a run scored here tonight. Newport with a huge second inning. 5 runs scored on 6 hits. 11 batters were up to the plate for Newport in that frame. A 1 misses low and inside. 1-1 on Cade Cabanis. Of course, Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt, and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. We are all here with you in the broadcast booth, located behind home plate. 1-1 from Brito, lifted in the air. Shallow right center field. Oncoming is Schock, and he can't make the play. It bounces in front of him. It's a long, high single for Cade Cabanis off the fly ball. Cabanis now 1 for 1. Newport's 8th hit of the night.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Newport just continuing to find ways to find a patch of green grass no matter how you do it. That one obviously hung in the air for a long time, but it's a difficult right field to play. And ends up falling down in that in front of that weird triangle area for a base hit.
Of course, 2 triangles located by the construction of the fences here at the ballpark. We'll take you through those in just a second. Steele squares the bunt, gets it down the third base line, but it kicks foul, picked up there by Neville. And you can basically see it on your screen in front of you. A deep triangle out in center field, and then another triangle in right center field. So you make a good point, Alex, because for Schock, he has that right center field indent is what they call it, which is 315 feet. That juts out pretty much right into his line of vision with that fly ball. You can see it on your screen in front of you once again what the field dimensions look like here at the ballpark. 28-foot high fences as well. But certainly a tough ball to make a play on if you are Schock. Off of first is Cabanis with the 1-out single. The pitch home. Misses up and inside. 1-1 on Bruce Steele, the shortstop out of Wake Forest. A Demon Deacons team, like we talked about, had an excellent season. Steele 6'2", 185 pounds. Wake Forest finished 43 and 20 overall. 19-11 in ACC play. Brito sets. Cabanis goes. Pitch fouled straight back. 1-2. A team that earned the number 3 seed in the ACC tournament, eliminated by Miami. But the Demon Deacons were granted the number 1 seed in the Winston-Salem Regional in the NCAA tournament. Eventually eliminated by Florida in 3 games in the NCAA Super Regional. Florida, of course, the eventual Division I champions in Omaha. Brito sets and fires the 1-2, misses about head high there for Steele, up and in. Ducks out of the way of that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Steele. He bats in the number 8 spot. So we'll see what Steele can do. Had a .383 on base percentage at Wake Forest this past spring. 9-foot lead for Cabanis over there at first. He's held on by Bacala. Pitch home. Sharp ground ball. Diving backhand stop at third by Neville. Long throw to first is in time. 5-3. Steele is retired on the fielder's choice. The second base goes Cabanis 2 away. What a play by Neville.
Yeah, Nick Neville getting down and dirty. Has to go to his knees to make the backhanded stop. gets up and then makes a strong throw in time and a good stretch by Bakula over at first.
Here's J.C. Flowers, had an RBI ground out back in the second. He is 0 for 1. Flowers 6'2", 185 pounds, bats from the right side. Swings an all-black bat, wears the blue and orange batting gloves, the royal blue wrist tape as well. First pitch in there at the knees on the outside corner, 0-1 on J.C. Flowers. 18th round draft pick to the Cincinnati Reds a year ago. Played in 68 games for the Seminoles this year, made 67 starts. He hit .235. 2 home runs, 32 RBI. See what he can do here. 2 away, a runner on second. Bottom 3, 5-0 Newport. Line drive up the middle into center field, a base hit. They will wave home Cavanis. Here comes the throw to the plate from Fucci. It's cut off by Bakula. He has no throw to second as Flowers hustles in with a slide into second base. It's an RBI single with 2 away for J.C. Flowers. It extends Newport's lead to 6-0 in the bottom half of the third.
And a heads-up play by Flowers. He saw that Bakula cut off the throw on the pitcher's mound. He was looking toward the plate in frustration and did not realize that behind him, Flowers was heading for second. And he dove in there safely ahead of the throw. That was a great heads-up and aggressive base-running play by J.C. Flowers.
Top of the order, Cameron Meisner due up for Newport. He's 1 for 2. How about this Gulls offense here tonight? Out hitting New Bedford 9-1. The pitch from Brito. Fastball called strike inside third. 0-1 on Cameron Meisner. 6 home runs, 21 RBI. He is hitting .355 this season. That batting average continuing to skyrocket. 0-1 to Seamer, runs up and away, 1-1. Bottom 3, 2 away. A runner on second and J.C. Flowers. He hit an RBI single to center field. 6-0. Newport leads over New Bedford. Brito works out of the stretch. Looks at Flowers on second. Now stares at him as Flowers extends his lead. 1-1. Big swing and a miss from Meisner. 1-2. Newport will be back in action for a rare afternoon home game here on Saturday when the Gulls host the Winnipesaukee Muskrats at 1 o'clock before traveling over the Pell Bridge to South Kingstown, Rhode Island that evening to take on the Ocean State Waves at 6:30. Meisner looks at a high fastball, 2-2. Certainly an important stretch for this Newport team. See what Meisner can do, though, with 2 away. Flowers takes the walking lead off second. He is in line with the baseline. Extends the lead. 2-2. Runs wide, 3-2 on Meisner. Brito has struggled to find the strike zone here. He has thrown 60 pitches through 2 2/3. You have to wonder how much longer New Bedford will stick with the Rutgers right-hander.
And it's so unusual for him, too. A guy who usually has probably the best command of anyone in the starting rotation for the Bay Sox.
The payoff pitch to Meisner. Curveball sharply grounded to second. Bobbled by Scott, regathers and throws out Meisner, who is retired 4-3. But for Newport, once again, the damage has been done. The Gulls push across a run. On 2 hits, they leave 1 aboard with no New Bedford errors. We will go to the top half of the 4th. The Gulls in control of this one here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. 6-0 on the NECBL Broadcast Network. To the top half of inning number 4 we go. Here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, Darren Zaslow with you here. It's 6-0 Newport, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout, Gulls field reporter Dave Peck, and for the play-by-play calls of innings 4, 5, and 6, we will turn over the play-by-play reins to the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt.
Thank you, Darren. Here we go, 4th inning time here at Cardines Field. It's 6-0 home team. The crowd is pretty well into it, I'd say, at this point, as they're enjoying their Gulls dominating the Bay Sox, but the Bay Sox offense is about to come to the dish and have their say. Great performance so far by Patterson. He has shut him down. Bay Sox with a couple of walks, 1 hit, and that's it to this point. Luke Bacala will lead off the fourth. It's 3, 4, and 5 for New Bedford. First pitch strike from the lefty to Bacala, who had one of those walks his first time up. Stole second, but was stranded there. Pitch low in the dirt after Patterson was able to strike out Dan Schock to end the inning. It'll be a 1-1. Swung on and foul, tipped by Bacala into the mitt of Dorenzo, and it is 1-2 on Luke. Batting .331 out of Kansas. 1 point led the NECBL in batting average. Still amongst the league leaders. And he swings over a nasty breaking ball from Patterson. Goes down swinging, and Patterson picks up his sixth strikeout, of the night already, as Bacala goes down swinging for the first time. Here's Nick Matera. Matera DHing tonight. Darren mentioned earlier that he's gotten a lot of playing time, and he has. He's played in virtually every game. Pitch swung on and missed up and in. It's 0-1 on Matera. Nick has done a lot of catching work. Was the primary catcher to start the year. Cody Doyle's been getting a lot more starts behind the dish, though, lately, as Matera has really gone off with the bat and turned into an effective DH. We've also seen Nick play a little bit of infield, corner infield. Hits this one to the corner infield at first, the opposite way. Picked up by McGill, and he tags the bag for out number 2.
I mean, Alex, it's been a very complete effort for Newport here tonight, which is exactly, what you want if you're a Gulls fan. You're getting the hitting, out hitting New Bedford 9-1. A great outing from Patterson on the mound, a clean slate of defense thus far. I know it's early in the ball game, but this is the type of baseball that Newport needs to play here down the stretch.
Here's Dan Schock. Schock struck out swinging to end that first inning. He's the leading power hitter on this team, really the power hitter on the team. First pitch breaking ball is low. Schock with 6 homers and 23 RBI. Does strike out a lot. The strikeout in the first was his 38th of the year, as he fouls this one down the left field line. Doesn't walk off in either single-digit walks on the season for Schock as well. He's walked 9 times. Bay Sox, top of the order, again, does like to swing a little bit earlier in the count, as you might expect. Schock reaches out and is way in front of what looked like a changeup. And it's 1-2. Actually, a little bit slower. May have been a curveball. 1-2 on the way to Schock, and he hits a hard chopper to second to a short. Steele is up with it, and he throws in time to retire Schock and end the inning. So Patterson again sits him down 1-2-3, and we have played 3.5 now. Middle of the fourth on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's 6-0 Newport. Bay Sox back on the field. Fino Brito is back on the hill, and you can bet that New Bedford wants him to stay out there for a while. The bullpen a little bit thin, but he's given up 6 runs on 9 hits thus far as we head to the bottom of the fourth. I'm Alex Levitt with Darren Zaslow here above Cardines Field in the old school press row, about a bench down from the top of the stands. Real good place to watch a game. It's comfortable. This is a great place. Wish I could come here every day, Darren.
It's always fun working with you, Alex. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. You have the historic feel, of course, at the ballpark, but, of course, one of my favorite things among numerous, it's the energy of the fans. It's the energy of the community and the passion they have for baseball.
Yeah, they've been making some noise tonight for their Gulls, up 6-0. Brito back to the hill. Aldretti, Dashbach, and Dorenza. 2-3-4 coming up for Newport. Aldretti, super red hot, extended that hit streak to 10, as Darren mentioned, in that second inning with an RBI single as Brito's first pitch gets away from him. Aldretti's also got a stolen base in this game. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI.
We've been talking about offense as well, and a very interesting stat here on the Bay Sox offense. I'll get you that after the pitch.
Brito deals fastball low and away.
This is something you don't see too often in baseball. What a huge drop-off from Luke Bacala, who leads this team in hitting with a .331 batting average, to Corey Joyce, who's batting .294.
Pitch is lined into left center field, a base hit. Carter Aldretti's got his second hit of the night, and he stays red hot. A hit number 10 for the Gulls.
It's a 37-point drop-off from your best hitter statistically on the team to number 2, from Bacala to Joyce. Not something you see very often, especially for a team that has been hitting pretty well this year. A team that's hitting .254. It's in the top half of the NECBL in terms of batting average. They're at number 5. It's very interesting to look at stuff like that because that can really tell you kind of the complexion of this offense that the Bay Sox have.
But again, as I mentioned, over their last 8 games, their team batting average for the Bay Sox has dropped by 22 points. And part of that has been Corey Joyce, who's in a funk right now. First pitch changeup swung through by Andrew Dashbach. He's walked and flown out. But you talked about Joyce still being there at .294, the second leading hitter on the team. You know, last Saturday, Sunday, a week ago or so, you had Bacala up there at .376 and Joyce at .356. And now it's Bacala .331, Joyce .294. So big drop-off. Brito gets one by Dashbach for a strike, and it's 0-2. Fooled him down and in. But that's something that's relatively new to the stats, and as you said, it's not something that you want to see. And the Bay Sox have been struggling. Really, they've been struggling to put hits together in a row more than anything else. This is a liner down the right side out of play onto the street. They'll stay 0-2.
And to put it into perspective for you, Newport with a 19-point drop-off. Of course, not as drastic that you see for New Bedford. Cameron Meisner leading the team in hitting, entering play at .352. Then J.C. Flowers right behind him at .333. Flowers 1 for 2 here tonight with a run scored, but a 19-point drop-off comparatively to 37. Certainly a big difference.
Up and in, and it's going to nail Dashbach. Hit on the forearm, actually the tricep area. He'll take his base. So you got 2 on now. Aldretti goes to second. He's in scoring position as Dashbach is on for the second time tonight with a free pass. And again, that's something you don't see very often from Fino Brito. He's walked 2 tonight and hit 1. That's Dashbach. So 2 on and nobody out here for Newport. Already up 6. But no other option here. He's really, Brito is going to have the ball until it's deep enough into the game that the bullpen's not going to be burned out. Bay Sox don't really have any other options. Not worth burning the bullpen either in a 6-0 game. Here's a 4-seam fastball for a strike to Dom Dorenza. Came up twice in that second inning, singled both times and scored once. The cleanup hitter, 2 for 2 and looking for more with 2 on and nobody out. Here's a breaking ball that's a 57-footer in the dirt. One runner's going to advance. Doyle will look Dashbach to first, but Aldretti is 90 feet away. That'll be a wild pitch.
Great read there by Carter Aldretti. That's exactly how you teach a ball in the dirt read off of second base. Whenever you see that ball kick up the first base line, that is your cue to run to third base. Great read by Aldretti. Nice job by Dashbach as well. If you're Newport, you want to keep your base runners, of course, on, especially with your cleanup hitter and Dorenzo at the plate.
Runners on the corners now. Pitch is a 2-seamer up and in. It's 2-1. To finish the thought about the Bay Sox offense, yeah, it wasn't long ago they had 5 hitters batting over 300, and coming into tonight, only 1. That pretty much tells the tale right there, more than anything else. It'll be a 2-1 pitch. Again, runs inside with the 2-seamer. Dorenza ahead 3-1 in the count.
And we talked about that very interesting stat. 14 home runs, the fewest in the NECBL for New Bedford, but the 57 doubles leads the league. So it's an enigma.
Yeah, when they're on, it's a great doubles offense. Stringing together back-to-back doubles, 3 in a row. This is a pop-up foul out of play by Dorenza. The count is now full. But again, it's just been, when you're not a powerful offense hitting a lot of home runs, you have to string hits together. And the Bay Sox have had several strings where they've gone more than a game, or even earlier this week, 2 full games without getting back-to-back hits. Didn't mean they didn't score any runs, because there are other ways to get guys on base, but it's really hard to put up crooked numbers if you're not getting back-to-back hits. This one's fouled down the left field line by Dom Dorenza. He stays alive. He's working a deep count against Brito. Fino with 74 pitches, 75 now.
He's throwing a lot of strikes, and he's been around the plate. He's getting ahead, and if you're Brito here on the mound, thus far he has only given up 2 walks through 3 innings of work. Not terrible numbers on that.
33 balls, though, a little bit high for him. Pumps this one in there, though, a 4-seamer at the knees. He gets Dorenza looking, and a much-needed first out of the 4th inning as he works through a 7-pitch at bat.
And when you're on the mound, of course, pitching, not an easy thing to do. You want to throw strikes. If you're going to get beat on the mound, at least have it be by the other team's bats. At least have them, find an offensive rhythm, swinging the bat simply. You don't want to throw a lot of walks. You don't want to throw a lot of pitches, and your defense, can lose its mental rhythm. That's how you want to pitch. You want to pitch, if you're going to get hit, if you're going to, struggle on the mound, at least have it be with the other team recording hits against you, beating them, beating you with their bats than the eyes. That's the ideal kind of scenario.
Strike 1 to Blade. You totally agree, and Fino definitely chooses that, as this one's fouled off. Another fastball. It's 0-2 on Blade. But Fino definitely will do that. He won't make you try to chase or throw one off the plate if he doesn't have to, unless he's ahead in the count. He'll make you beat you with the bat. And tonight, to Newport's credit, they just have. They've hit well. They've seen the ball well. And they're looking for more with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. It's swung on and fouled back again by Blade. It'll stay 0-2. It's Aldretti at first. He singled. And Dashbach was hit by a pitch.
And to Newport's credit here tonight, the Gulls have only struck out once. Really puts things into perspective for you.
Guy at the plate's got their only extra base hit as he takes a curveball down and in. It's 1-2. Blade doubled and scored in the second. He actually had a second at bat in that inning. Flew out to center to end it with the bases loaded. Could have been a real crooked number, a huge one. With the bases still loaded and 5 runs already in at that point. Pitch is up high. It's 2-2 now on JJ out of Vandy. Bay Sox middle infield at double play depth, at least DeBras is. Joyce is pretty much in his normal position, maybe a few steps to the right, probably 2 or 3. And they're playing back. Here's a breaking ball in there, strike 3 call. That was a good one from Brito. Snapped it off at the last minute over the inner half, and he gets Blade looking. So back-to-back strikeouts looking, and now it's 2 on and 2 out.
Well, Brito entering play here tonight, a true strikeout pitcher statistically. 27 strikeouts in 21.2 innings. That's a strikeout pitcher. You're averaging over a strikeout an inning. You are a power pitcher to that point. Give Newport credit here tonight, putting the ball in play. The first strikeout was recorded this inning by Brito through 3 innings. So the Gulls have been putting the ball in play. They've been very effective offensively.
Pitch is low and away, a breaking ball well outside to Liam McGill. He singled and scored in the second, picked up an RBI, and he grounded out to short in the third. For Fino Brito, he averaged a strikeout about every 5 batters during his college season, but again only issued 10 walks in 74 innings. At Rutgers, here's a chopper to third, a short hop for Neville. He's able to pick it cleanly, and he throws in time, so Brito gets out of dodge here as the first 2 get on, but nobody comes home, and after 4 it's still 6-0 Newport here in the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to F is for Family. Now we're at Newport. It's Cardines Field here in Newport for a NECBL baseball game. It's 6-0 Gulls over the Bay Sox, and I'll tell you, Nick Matera just jogged down to the catcher's mask to the bullpen, so Fino Brito might be on the ropes with action warming for the Bay Sox. Patterson's back to the hill. Jack Patterson has been terrific to this point. Deals a first pitch strike to Mike Martinez. Swings and misses through a fastball up and away. Martinez struck out his first time, and he's down 0-2 here. Mike, a late arrival, hitting .234 now after that K. It was his 20th of the season, so he's had a high strikeout total in his early time here. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. He's tagged by DiRenzo, and he gets another K as Martinez is down for the second time tonight. That is strikeout number 7 for Patterson. Nick Neville was a victim his first time. Went down swinging in the second. Last 5 Bay Sox have been sat down by Patterson, who's given up only 1 hit. Pitches upstairs. Bay Sox only had 1 hit over the first 6 innings yesterday and over the duration of the game on Tuesday. So trying to get something going with the offense, but it's just been momentum stunted as a fastball misses low for ball 2. DeBras singled in the third, but it was immediately followed up by a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. So there you go. Running fastball, swung on a miss by Neville, and Nick is at a 2-1 count here. Cody Doyle will be next for the Bay Sox. Can't see who's getting up for New Bedford behind some fencing. Curveball just low, did not miss by much to Neville. He's ahead now 3-1.
And Patterson really has done a great job getting those first pitch strikes over the plate.
Got a camera down there in that bullpen. Nobody loosening yet, as you saw. Strike delivered from Patterson. And it's a full count on Neville, so he gets back in this. And we'll see a payoff pitch. Here it comes. He delivers. It's grounded to second. Aldretti to his left. Easy throw for out number 2.
And he's induced a lot of weak contact. That's exactly what you want on the mound. A guy who can throw a lot of strikes, who can record strikeouts, but who can induce weak contact, and that's exactly what he has done here tonight. Those 7 strikeouts, a lot of ground balls, just what it looks like here tonight. 1 flyout.
Yeah, Bay Sox have only hit 2 balls out of the infield in this one. It was back-to-back, Jordan Fucci and DeBras with a couple of liners. One was caught, one wasn't, but that's it. That was both in the 3rd inning. You had ball 1 here to Doyle. The 1-0 is chopped on a slow roller back to Patterson. He makes a long, exaggerated flip to end the inning. We've played half a baseball game here at Cardines Field. 6-zip home team on top. New Bedford is trailing here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom 3 in the order coming up for Newport. Trying to add to his 6-0 lead with Darren Zaslow. I'm Alex Levitt here at Cardines Field in Newport. NECBL baseball, there's the score. 5 runs in the second. The big spot for the Gulls. They sent 11 batters to the plate in that inning. And they'll be sending the bottom 3 up here against Fino Brito, who's back out there for a 5th inning of work. Fino, we'll see if how long he continues out there. You saw Matera jogging down to that bullpen, but nobody getting loose. That's because Matera not due up for a while. So if at any point Kyle Fernandez wants to loosen a pitcher, he has the freedom to do so. But Brito's still out there for now. It'll be Cade Cabanis leading things off in the bottom of the 5th. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Gulls. Cabanis has walked, singled, and scored twice in this one. Scored on a throwaway pickoff throw in the 2nd inning. And scored on a hit by J.C. Flowers in the 3rd inning. Pitch is low by Fino Brito for a ball. To start off the Oklahoma State DH. A 12-6 breaking ball, but it misses at the letters high. It's 2-0 on Cabanas.
You bring up Oklahoma State. That was a team that played excellent baseball when it mattered the most in the Big 12 tournament.
2-0 pitch fastball swung on a miss, 2-1.
A team that finished 8-13 in the Big 12, 30-27 overall. Oklahoma State got the last seed into the Big 12 tournament, the number 8 seed. They would eventually win the Big 12. How about that? They would go on to the Fayetteville Regional in the NCAA tournament. They were eliminated by Oral Roberts, but a team that really played excellently down the stretch of the season.
Pitch swung on a miss at the letters with a fastball, and Brito's battled back in his count 2-2. Yeah, they have great facilities out there too, some of the best in the country.
Out in Stillwater, Oklahoma, absolutely. Great year for the Cowboys.
It'll be a 2-2 pitch. That's a breaking ball that runs down and in, just below the knees. It's a full count now on Cade Cabanas. Bruce Steele's on deck.
In a way, Newport looking to replicate that, to play its best baseball down the stretch when it matters the most.
Both these teams, I think, could say that. Here's a curveball that freezes Cabanas. He gets him looking. So Fino Brito comes back from a 2-0 count to get him looking. That is Brito's third strikeout in the last 4 batters. He didn't have any before that. 3 on the night for Fino, who, as Darren mentioned, is a strikeout guy when you look at the numbers, and really has been this year, but just has not been tonight, been hit hard. Here is Bruce Steele. Steele had an RBI single in the second before being wiped out on a fielder's choice. Curveball is outside and low. Steele also had a sacrifice ground out to third in the third, so he is 1 for 2. Shortstop swings and misses at a fastball. He was late, and it's 1-1 from Brito. Steele out of Wake. Brito setting the glove in front of his mouth, and from the full windup he deals. This is popped up foul down the left side, out of play. Varies really the length of his windup. Sometimes he'll go all from the stretch. Still slide steps it no matter what, but sometimes he'll be a little bit more deliberate, rather similar to Darian Reagan's that way. 6-0 the score, bottom 5, a 1-2 count with 1 out on Bruce Steele. Nobody on for Newport. Up half a dozen. Swung on a miss, so Fino Brito, another strikeout, gets him swinging with a breaking ball. He struck out the first 2 here in the 5th and 4 of the last 5.
He's retired 5 in a row as well. You can definitely tell the right-hander out of Rutgers in Brito finding a rhythm, starting to get more comfortable. He's getting ahead. Ultimately, that's what he's doing. He's getting that first pitch strike. He's working down in the zone. It's been very effective, really, since the 4th inning.
Little 21 Savage from J.C. Flowers as he makes his way to the plate and bunts. It's popped up, and Doyle can't get back to it. It had a lot of spin on it. Doyle tried to wheel around and make the catch, but he couldn't get there, so it'll be strike 1 on Flowers. Flowers picked up his first 2 RBIs of the season in the 2nd and 3rd inning. RBI fielder's choice and a run scored in the 2nd. Was lucky that that was not a double play, and then he had an RBI single in the 3rd. Foul back to the screen. It's 0-2 on JC.
Florida State team that, similarly to Oklahoma State, number 8 seed, but for Florida State in the ACC tournament, they would win the ACC and host the Tallahassee Regional.
Brito gets the check swing, and he strikes out the side. Got him with a changeup down the middle. So how about Fino Brito? Real good comeback for him. He struck out 5 of the last 6. Yeah, that's a word. It's 6-0 in favor of the Gulls after 5 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Over. Welcome back. It's the 6th inning now. I'm Alex Levitt with Darren Zaslow in the booth here at Cardines Field for NECBL Baseball in New Bedford and Newport. And Newport is dominating so far. as they lead it 6-0 on 10 hits. Bay Sox with just 1 hit, but they're coming to the plate trying to get something going with 9-1-2 against Jack Patterson, who has been dominant to this point. He sat down the last 7. Jordan Fucci is 0 for 1 with a line out to center. Fucci came in hitting 188. He's at 185 now. 4 ribbies. Fucci started today in center field, which is a new position for him, at least with the Bay Sox. Takes a curveball up and away, but had a misplay in that second inning, leading to 2 runs. In his defense, though, it is a very odd center field in right field here in Newport. Swings and misses through the second offering. It's 1-1 from Patterson, who has struck out 7 to this point. Has walked only 2, both in the first inning, as Fucci gets a piece and fouls it down the left field line. Patterson ahead 1-2.
And at some point, New Bedford is going to have to get this offense going. The Gulls out hitting the Bay Sox 10-1.
Fucci swings and misses and strikes out. There's number 8 on the night for Patterson as he racks up another. And there's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, how about the job of Jack Patterson and what has really helped him be so dominant tonight? Not only is he getting ahead in the count, not only is he keeping the ball down, he's throwing all of his pitches for strikes. You've seen a lot of the fastball, the curveball, the changeup. Everything has been there for the Bryant southpaw.
First pitch to Chandler DeBras is outside. DeBras is the last Bay Sox to reach base. He's singled in the 3rd. He's got their only hit tonight. He lofts this one in the air to left field, but it's right at Meisner, and he puts it away for out number 2.
You can tell he got that one a little bit off the end, did DeBras, and Meisner plays it perfectly. It's a tough ball to make a play on. It's hit right at him, but as they teach you, your first step on a fly ball, especially hit right at you, is back, and Meisner did that. He was able to make an easy grab there. Made it look simple.
Here's Zach Scott with 282 this year at St. Leo's as he takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. He's 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a double play, so he's definitely looking to turn this night around as he fouls that one back to the screen. It's 0-2. Patterson in search of his 9th strikeout of the night and 37th of the year. He's ahead of Scott, 0-2. Zach, a late arrival, bumped up to that 2-hole highest he's hit in the order this year. This is the 2nd time in the last 3 games he's hitting the 2-hole, batting .244. He looks at strike 3, a curveball outer half. Scott down for the 2nd time tonight. That's strikeout number 9 for Jack Patterson. He has been sensational. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Newport trying to expand on a 6-0 lead here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We'll send it over now for a scoreboard to Dave.
Alex, we look around the league here in the NECBL. Bottom of the 8th, up at Winnipesaukee, Sanford have the 5-3 advantage over the Muskrats. Also in the bottom of the 8th, Mystic has come back in this one. They're up 5-2-3 over Valley. Top of the 6th inning in Vermont, Ocean State up on the Mountaineers 4-0. And in the bottom of the 6th, the Upper Valley Nighthawks have a 9-6 advantage over the North Adams Steeplecats. Lastly, top of the 5th, over in Plymouth, 5-3 Pilgrims over the Swamp Bats, and of course 6-0 here. Gulls advantage over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Alex, back to you.
All right, we'll take a break here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back to NECBL Baseball from Cardines Field in Newport with Darren Zaslow. I'm Alex Levitt. New pitcher for the Bay Sox is Jake Lamb out of Richmond, one of my A10 guys. He's got a 2.64 ERA this year with the Bay Sox. He struck out 20 and walked just 6 in 17 innings of work. Big lefty ace reliever at 6'5", 250. He's been one of the most consistent relievers this season for the Bay Sox. His last time out, he preserved an 8-7 win against Danbury. He gave up 1 run on 3 hits. Only 2 of those, he gave up 2 runs, just 1 earned on 3 hits in that 8-7 victory. And he takes the hill here tonight for the Bay Sox. They locked down a continuation win on that day. Also pitched on Tuesday against Ocean State, an inning and 2/3 scoreless there.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Cameron Meisner. Liam O'Regan will pinch hit for Meisner, who finishes tonight's contest at 1-for-3. Once again, O'Regan to hit for Meisner out of Elon.
So Liam O'Regan in for Meisner, who was 1-for-3. As this one's chopped foul to the left. Kept a hit streak going and picked up a quote-unquote phantom RBI in the second inning. Doesn't count for anything, though. So O'Regan is in now at left field and leading off. Jake Lamb deals up and away. O'Regan now even in the count at 1-1. Aldretti and Dashbach scheduled to follow. Pitch runs inside, and it's 2-1.
Dave talked about that Valley Mystic game, and that is, at least for both of these teams here tonight, that's the biggest game to look at.
Pitch is high, 3-1.
Mystic has extended its lead to 6-3, so even if Newport wins here tonight, the Gulls won't be able to pick up any ground on the Schooners.
3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off. The count's now full.
Which for New Bedford is probably worse news, because the Gulls, while they don't gain any ground, New Bedford would lose a game and be 4 games out, with a half game separating Newport and New Bedford.
Here's a payoff pitch, and he gets O'Regan swinging. So Jake Lamb picks up his 21st strikeout of the year, first out of the bottom of the 6th. Talking about Mystic, Jake Lamb had a huge part in both a win and a loss against Mystic this year. Last Saturday, in a 3-0 loss during a doubleheader, had his poorest outing of the season, 2 runs on 5 hits in a 3-0 loss. At the time, he was trying to preserve a 1-0 8th inning lead, and it fell apart on him. He also, though, got his only decision of the year in a 3-inning performance earlier in the season. As this one bounces in, and it knocks off the leg of Aldretti on a hop, and he'll take his base. Second hit batsman of the night by Bay Sox pitching, and there's 1 on and 1 out.
It's a great job there by Aldretti. Newport, once again, with another base runner. The Gulls have had at least 1 base runner in every frame. That continues here in the 6th inning.
And everybody has been on for Newport in this game. Andrew Dashbach has been on twice. Dashbach, though, the only one without a hit. Not that it's his fault. He walked in, got plunked by a pitch, both from Fino Brito. Also flew out to right, so he is 0 for 1 in this one. Lamb with a first pitch changeup outside for a ball. If that was over the plate, it would have been a beach ball sized pitch. Dashbach out of Stamford made his debut up at Paul Walsh Field earlier this season with Newport. Paul Walsh Field being the Bay Sox home stadium. This pitch is popped up foul by Dashbach behind him. Gets out of play. It's 1-1 on the third baseman. Dorenzo will be next. Great stretch of this Newport batting order with Aldretti, Dashbach, and Dorenzo. Meisner, when he's in there, obviously he has been taken out. Here's a ground ball through the left side, that 5.5 hole for a base hit. So Andrew Dashbach makes it a clean sweep. Everybody in the order has a base knock at least in this one for Newport. And the fun will continue for Dominic Dorenzo.
Certainly has been an excellent offensive game for the Gulls, who are out hitting the Bay Sox 11-1. And Newport's offense has been finding its stride. Of course, Jack Patterson has been spectacular. The defense has been great. A very well-rounded ball game for the Gulls here tonight thus far.
Dorenzo out of Oklahoma, 2 for 3. Both hits coming in the second inning. Also a run scored and a strikeout. Takes a first pitch curveball from Jake Lamb for a strike. Aldretti at second. Dashbach at first. Strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a single. Newport looking to keep pouring it on. Fastball down and in. Jake Lamb kind of pushes the ball out of his hand. Almost looks like a knuckleballer, but he doesn't throw a knuckleball or even a knuckle curve.
Also get you the final line on Fino Brito, the right-handed starter from Rutgers, through 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 10 hits, struck out 5, walked 2, gave up 6 total runs.
Here's a pop-up into shallow right center field. Joyce is a step out on the grass, come in his shock, and he makes a running catch for the second out of the inning. What Brito did do was sit down the last 6 that he faced, 5 of them on strikeouts, so at least was able to get through 5 innings and save this Bay Sox bullpen a little bit. You're going to have to pitch the final, well, presumably 3 of this one, assuming there's no bottom of the ninth. First and second, 2 out for J.J. Bleday. He has doubled, flown out, and struck out looking. Also scored a run tonight. First pitch curveball is down and away, 1-0. Bleday, if anybody gets on McGill, as he tries to extend the inning with 2 on and 2 out. Low and away again, 2-0 now, as Bleday ahead in the count. Newport had 2 on and 2 out in the 4th inning. McGill grounded out. Same situation here. They last put up a run in the 3rd. Lamb looking back the runner, and he comes home, misses down and in. It's 3-0 now. And McGill may get another chance here to come up in a 2-out runner in scoring position situation.
We talked about Brito, the numbers you like. The 5 strikeouts over the 5 innings with just 2 walks given up.
That'll load the bases. Fastball outside. So Newport with the bases loaded once again. This is the 3rd time tonight that they've had him juiced.
Yeah, we'll see what Liam McGill can do. He's been great. 1 for 3, a run scored. Has played very good defense over there at first base. He's done a nice job out of the number 6 spot in the lineup.
And McGill had a single in that 2nd inning. He was the 3rd man up, had the first RBI, made it 1-0 at the time. It's 6-0 now. Also scored a run. Since then, he's grounded out twice. Liam McGill out of Columbia. Pitch down and in, takes it for a strike, 0-1 from Jake Lamb, who has nowhere to put him. Strikeout, a hit batsman, a walk, a flyout, and another walk. Excuse me, a single, a flyout, and then a walk. Has him loaded with Aldretti, Dashbach, and Bleday, the runners. Bay Sox playing McGill pretty much straight up.
New Bedford with a huge game tomorrow as well on the flip side here for the Bay Sox, hosting Winnipesaukee after they play Newport here at Cardines Field at 1:00 p.m.
Then another division game Sunday against Ocean State. 0-1 check swing on a pitch at the letters. It was definitely high. Did he offer? He did not. So McGill will get the benefit of ball 1. It's 1-1. You said it. Every game at this point's big. Bay Sox were looking to sweep at least one of those doubleheaders. Split both of them. Not going too well here tonight. They'll have to get back on the win train the next couple of days. This one skips up away from Doyle. He can't find it, but it happens to be in front of him, so nobody advances. A scary moment there as Hart jumped into his throat, when he couldn't find that one. 2-1 now to Liam McGill, as Jake Lamb has found himself in trouble here in his first inning of work. You've got right now. Neville playing a little bit back. Had come in. He's not all the way back, but not even with the bag either. Playing about mid-depth. Everybody else at their normal position. Pitch runs inside. It's 3-1 now, and again, nowhere to put McGill. Lamb got ahead 0-1, but he's missed with 3 straight.
Columbia team that was very successful in the Ivy League this year, a 12-8 Ivy League record. Columbia finished 18-23 overall.
It'll be a 3-1 pitch, and it's high and away, and that'll walk in a run. So Jake Lamb with his second straight walk, and Liam McGill will pick up an easy RBI, his second of the night. And just like that, it's 7-0 for McGill. It's his 4th ribby of the year.
Great at bat there by Liam McGill, and once again, Newport finding a rhythm offensively. It's exactly what you want to see, really quality at bats here. And McGill doing a great job there. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, actually his 5th ribby of the season, as he picked up one in the 2nd inning. Aldretti scores the run on that play. Batter now is Cade Cabanis. Swings and misses the first pitch for a strike. Bay Sox are going to shift on Cabanis, and the reason why, he's a big pull hitter. Cabanis has only hit 8 balls to the left side in play all season. You got DeBross shading toward the base. At second, here's a foul tip on a curveball by Jake Lamb, and Cade is down 0-2. Lamb trying to get out of Dodge here, as it was first and second, 2 out, but back-to-back walks have pushed a run across. Cabanis is the 7th batter of the inning. Pitch in there for strike 3. Got him with a fastball knee-high running away. And Cabanis is down looking for the 2nd straight time. But Newport picks up another run, and they lead it 7-0 after 6 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Send it back to Darren on the other side of this break.
To the top half of inning number 7 we go. A couple defensive changes here for the Newport Gulls, as Jack Patterson is still on the mound, entering his 7th frame of work. The starter out of Bryant has been excellent. Now in left field is Liam O'Regan, the Elon product, and now at second base for Carter Andretti is Nick Durr out of Florida State. O'Regan in left, Durr at second. Those are your 2 defensive changes. Stepping up to the plate is Luke Bacala out of Kansas. Big swing and a miss, elevated fastball right there. 0-1 on Bacala, who is 0-for-1 with a strikeout and a walk. He bats from the right side against Patterson. Next offering, misses in the dirt, gets to the backstop, 1-1. So Durr will enter in Aldretti's spot in the lineup. Carter Aldretti finishes tonight's ball game 2 for 3, 2 singles, a hit by pitch, a run scored, and a flyout. Big swing and a miss there once again from Bacala, 1-2.
Yeah, it's like pulling your quarterback after 3 quarters. Another huge night for Meisner and Aldretti, and they both get to sit the rest of the night.
Next offering taken downstairs, 2-2 on Bacala.
Especially Aldretti, who is basically an impossible out right now.
Patterson winds and fires the break-even pitch. Grounded to third. Backhanded stop by Dashbach. Throw on a hop to first is not in time. It pulled McGill off the bag. We'll see how they want to rule. It should be an infield single, and it is for Luke Bacala. It is just the 2nd hit of the night for New Bedford. Bacala now 1 for 2.
Yeah, the Bay Sox first hit in 4 innings since the 3rd inning. And you knew it sooner or later. Luke Bacala is probably going to put together a base hit, as he has done so often, and maybe get a rally started here. Leadoff man on for the Bay Sox for the first time in this game.
Looks like there's going to be a pinch hitter for New Bedford. It's Karsten Sherman, who will bat from the right side here.
He's batting for Matera. He'll stay in at DH. Matera was 0-for-1 with a walk.
First pitch to Sherman. Misses up and away for ball one. Karsten Sherman at the plate. 6'7", 260 pounds out of Kaiser University. 1-0. Misses downstairs, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Sherman this year hitting .236. He's 21 for 89, 2 home runs, 12 RBI. 2-0. Fastball, called strike at the knees, outside corner. 2-1 on Karsten Sherman.
Matera's down in the bullpen with the gear on, warming up the Bay Sox next couple relievers.
Matera finishes 0 for 1 with a ground out and a walk. A curveball breaks over the outer half for strike 2. Excellent pitch from Patterson to Karsten Sherman out of Kaiser University. Whereas the high Red Sox from the right side swings an all black bat. 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses up and away. 3-2. The count pushes full on Karsten Sherman. We are in the top half of the 7th. No outs, a runner on first. 7-0 Newport leads over New Bedford. The payoff pitch. Skied in the air down the right field line. Slicing foul and out of play. And the count still 3-2. Gets over the house located down the right field line. Some people on the deck enjoying the ball game. It's an excellent view. Maybe we can get a look at them. Payoff pitch from Patterson. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It's another strikeout for Jack Patterson here tonight. It is his 10th. How about Patterson? There you can see him enjoying the game up on the deck. 10 strikeouts for Patterson here tonight.
And Karsten Sherman now with 38 strikeouts on the season. When you consider that he's basically been a part-time player for the last week and a half, that's a pretty high number. Now tied for second on the team in strikeouts with Dan Schock.
Well, here is Dan Schock. He's 0 for 2. Has struck out once here tonight and grounded out. He is 0 for 2. Takes a fastball there on the inner edge for strike 1. Bacala led off the frame with an infield single. He's off of first, 0-1. Chopped foul, third base side, 0-2. Patterson jumps ahead. Thus far, for Patterson, he has thrown 98 pitches. He sets the tan glove at the belt, 0-2. Misses wide. Dorenzo was thinking about throwing over to first to try and backpick Bacala, but he could not get the transition from the glove hand to the throwing hand. 1-2 the count on the Sacred Heart right fielder and Dan Schock. Here's the next pitch. This one drilled deep right field. Going back is Blade to the fence, looks up, and that ball is gone. It's a 2-run home run from Dan Schock, his 7th of the year. It's now 7-2 Newport here in the top of the 7th with 1 out.
And there we go. Talk about stringing together some hits. Bay Sox with a couple of hits in this inning. They only had 1 coming in. Luke Bacala gets on to start things. And Dan Schock, who we said is the primary power hitter, run producer on this team, does his thing. An opposite field shot, his 2nd opposite field home run here at Cardines Field this season. 7th of the year and now 25 RBIs. Both of those lead the club.
Patterson's 100th pitch of the ball game sent over the right field fence. Newport pitching coach Kevin Winterroad will talk with Patterson on the mound. You have to wonder how much Patterson has left in him. He has been extremely dominant here tonight. And Winterroad will now walk back to the Newport dugout. That is located closer to home plate. New Bedford's dugout located closer to first base. So here's Michael Martinez. New Bedford building some momentum off the 2-run home run from Dan Schock. He is now 1 for 3. 2 RBI off the 2-run homer. Michael Martinez, the left fielder out of Rutgers, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. First pitch from Patterson, swung on and missed by Martinez. It's 0-1.
Martinez is a guy who tends to scatter his hits, average of about 1 of 4 per game.
0-1 taken down and away, 1-1. The shortstop Steele plays about 5 feet to his left. Towards the second base bag, it's pull side for Martinez. The 1-1 from Patterson. This is downstairs, 2-1.
And you say, of course he's averaging 1 of 4 per game. He's hitting just a little bit under 250. But literally, he's a guy who almost every day is going to have 1 hit and make 3 to 4 outs.
2-1 is fouled straight back, and the count now levels even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away. Already 2 runs in the frame for New Bedford off the 2-run home run from the Sacred Heart product in Dan Schock.
Martinez had a multi-hit game. His first game as a base sock, hasn't had one since.
2-2. Waved out a miss. The high changeup for strike 3. Strikeout number 11 for the Bryant lefty. And Jack Patterson, 2 down.
And you know the home run. Got those juices flowing a little bit. Comes back with the strikeout. All right here. I've gotten Martinez twice before. Gets him for the 3rd time. 11 Ks on the night. And you know what? He's still got the benefit of a 5-run lead. I think all's okay in Jack Patterson world. Nick
Neville steps up to the plate. The Notre Dame third baseman is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Takes a strike there on the outer third. It's 0-1. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Bryant against Notre Dame. Patterson versus Neville here with 2 away. The base is empty. Top 7, 7-2 Newport. Curveball drops in on the inside black. At the knees, 0-2.
And he hasn't lost a touch. That was a nasty breaking ball. Snapped it off at the last moment with a ton of vertical movement as well as lateral movement.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the outside corner. How about Jack Patterson, his 12th strikeout here tonight. He has been incredible. Second time tonight Neville has gone down on strikes, but for New Bedford, they reduce the New Bedford lead, the Newport lead to 5 off the 2-run home run from Dan Schock. It's 7-2 for the Bay Sox. 2 runs on 2 hits. No Newport errors. No one left aboard. We'll stretch and go to the bottom half of the 7th here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Your score, Newport 7, New Bedford 2. Bottom half of inning number 7 we go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. It's the Gulls and the Bay Sox right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. New pitcher on the mound for the Bay Sox. They will go to the right-hander out of UMass Dartmouth. It's Zach Reed, a rising senior. And to tell you more about him, here's the voice of the Bay Sox, Alex Levitt.
Reed is 1-1 this year for the Bay Sox, a 3.15 ERA, 20 strikeouts and 5 walks over 20 innings of work. He has pitched against the Gulls twice. In fact, he's gotten some of his most extensive action against the Gulls. Pitched 3 innings of scoreless relief and a 9-0 loss on June 29th. He only gave up 1 hit in those 3 innings with 6 Ks and a walk. And also pitched against them in a 16-inning affair. He was the loser in a 16-inning 7-5 loss for the Bay Sox on June 15th. Went 4 innings in that game, gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits. They lost 7-5. Has also pitched against Newport here once at Cardines Field back on June 8th.
Hitters 8, 9, and 1 due up. Bruce Steele, J.C. Flowers, Liam O'Regan. As Steele steps in there, you can see a rabbit on your screen in front of you hanging out there. Watching the game as well. It's 1-0 on Steele. He takes a high fastball. Steele 1 for 3 here tonight. The shortstop out of Wake Forest bats from the right side. Sees another fastball above the letters, 2-0. Newport out hitting New Bedford 11-3. And 7-2 in the runs column. That's where it counts. Reed works out of the stretch. Dangles that right arm with the baseball in his hand. He gets the sign from Doyle. And 2-0. In there, 2-1. 7-2 Newport, bottom 7, the base is empty, no one out. Also get you the final line on New Bedford reliever and Jacob Lamb. Reed works predominantly out of the stretch, the 2-1, lifted foul behind home plate. The count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Your final attendance here at the ballpark on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night, 2,879. An excellent crowd here at Cardines Field. Once again, your final attendance here tonight, 2,879.
Yeah, wow, that's a great crowd. Place was pretty close to capacity when I walked in.
2-2, curveball in the dirt, 3-2. No, absolutely, you're right. We talked about the support of the community, the fans. It's felt every night here in the city by the sea here at Cardines Field. Of course, Newport will be back at home tomorrow. It's a quick turnaround, a few hours. Our pregame show feels like it'll be starting. Payoff pitch from Reed. Fastball taken downstairs for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk to Bruce Steele. And he is aboard for J.C. Flowers, the center fielder out of Florida State, is 1 for 3. A single, a run scored, a ground out, and a strikeout. Newport will host Winnipesaukee tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. here, the first Saturday afternoon home game at Cardines Field this season. It's the Muskrats and the Gulls at 1 o'clock p.m. here in the City by the Sea before Newport travels to Ocean State tomorrow night to take on the Waves. As J.C. Flowers looks at a fastball on the outer edge for strike 1. That's game 6 of the Pell Bridge series between Newport and Ocean State. Out in South Kingstown, Rhode Island, first pitch tomorrow night between the Gulls and the Waves, set for 6:30. 10-foot lead over there at first by Steele. He's held on by Bakala. 0-1 pitch fouled straight back. Nothing in 2-1 J.C. Flowers.
Yeah, I've seen a little too much of the Pell Bridge and specifically the toll booth on it the last few days. Coming to Newport and Ocean State every day.
So we'll see what Flowers can do here from the right side. Reed and Doyle agree on the signal as a quick pickoff move there to first. Back in safely is Steele ahead of the tag from Bakala. The third baseman, Neville, plays at his normal depth behind the third base bag. The center fielder, Fucci, playing about 5 feet to his left, shading to the right center field gap. 0-2. This is up and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes on J.C. Flowers.
It's going to be definitely real interesting tomorrow, seeing if Winnipesaukee worn out at all. See if you guys take all the wind out of their sails in the afternoon.
1-2 pitch, curveball, skied in the air, foul ground, right field line. Moving over is Bakala, and he cannot make the play right in front of the tarp. You can get a look at that on your screen in front of you. 1-2, the count on J.C. Flowers. He got a piece to stay alive. 7-2 Newport. No outs, a runner on first and Bruce Steele. Hard to believe, but Alex, 13 games remain on Newport's regular season schedule, including tonight's contest. Same with New Bedford, 10 games, including tonight. This season certainly flew by quickly here in the NECBL. Reed deals the 1-2 to Flowers. Curveball, hit in the air, deep right center field. Moving back to his left is Fucci, leaps and makes the play in front of the fence. Tagging from first to second is Steele. He slides in ahead of Fucci's throw into second base. It's a great at-bat by J.C. Flowers. Steele moves up into scoring position, 90 feet. He is at second for Liam O'Regan.
Yeah, it is hard to believe, though, that the season's coming to an end, and you mentioned the fewer number of games that the Bay Sox have remaining, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. As I mentioned earlier in the telecast, the Bay Sox do not have any off days left on their schedule, and after the last couple of days, they still have a doubleheader left and another continuation as well, so it is not going to be an easy stretch here for the Bay Sox coming up.
First pitch to Liam O'Regan, curveball, called strike on the outside third, 0-1 to O'Regan, who is 0-4-1 with a strikeout. He is hitting 161 this season. The Elon left fielder wears a white arm sleeve on the right side arm, a black elbow guard on the front side elbow. First pitch, grounded weakly left side. Charging in is DeBras, throw on the run to first is low, and a nice scoop by the first baseman. Bakala is in time. Moving to third base is Bruce Steele, and there are 2 away here in the frame. Off the 6-3 ground out. Nick Durr, the second baseman out of Florida State, will step up to the plate for the first time here tonight. Entered as a defensive replacement for Carter Aldretti in the top half of the 7th inning. Aldretti finishes his ball game 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Durr out of Florida State steps in, big swing and a miss. At an elevated fastball, it's 0-1 on Durr. Durr swings from the right side, swings an all-black bat, the blue and orange batting gloves. Slightly bent knees and a squared stance. He faces Reed. At a UMass Dartmouth, the pitch. Sharply grounded foul, third base side, nothing in two. We are in the top half of the 7th. A runner on third, and Bruce Steele, he led off the inning with a walk. 7-2. Newport leads off of a flyout by J.C. Flowers and Liam O'Regan's ground out. Those are the 2 outs in the frame. Reed peers into Doyle, gets the sign, sets the tan glove at the letters. And the 0-2. Curveball misses up and inside. Great take there by Durr. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Both of these teams this year have struggled defensively. New Bedford entered play with a .954 team fielding percentage, the 2nd worst in the league, as Durr looks at a curveball off the outside black, 2-2. Newport, on the other hand, a .952 fielding percentage. That's the worst in the NECBL. The Gulls have committed 58 errors this year, but here tonight, certainly doesn't look like it. They've played a clean slate thus far. Reed sets and fires the break-even offering. Check swing at a low curveball. Did he go? No, he did not. The count 3-2 on Nick Durr. For Newport, 7 runs on 11 hits and no errors. For New Bedford, it's been an offense that has been out of rhythm. 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors. Reed getting ready to throw his 19th pitch of the inning as Durr steps out of the batter's box. Reed thus far, 10 strikes and 8 balls. He's been rather effective. The UMass Dartmouth righty sets and fires the payoff pitch. Fastball misses high for ball 4. It's a 2-out walk to Nick Durr to put runners on the corners for Andrew Dashbach, the 3rd baseman out of Stanford here tonight. He's been great. 1 for 2, a single, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a fly out to right field for Dashbach, who bats in the number 3 spot here against Reed. And of course, New Bedford tomorrow will host Winnipesaukee at 6:30 after the Muskrats play here at 1:00 p.m. So a lot of traveling for both of the teams that are playing here at 1:00 tomorrow, Newport and Winnipesaukee. Reed deals to Dashbach. A fastball misses up and in towards the hands. It's 1-0.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying earlier, maybe you guys can take a little bit of juice out of the Muskrats before they come down, because, of course, the Bay Sox are the only one of the trio that doesn't have a split doubleheader tomorrow. They're at home again against Winnipesaukee at 6:30. We'll be on Point Streak at about 6:20.
1.5 games separates New Bedford and Newport. Should this score hold, should Newport grab the win here tonight, just a half game would separate both of these teams. The problem, at least for New Bedford specifically, with Mystic winning here tonight against Valley, New Bedford would drop an extra game behind the Schooners. So New Bedford would be 4 games back. Newport would stay where they are in terms of games behind the Schooners at 4.5. But when you look at it on the other end for the Gulls, it's a game where if Mystic would have lost, Newport could have picked up a full game. And if Newport can win both tomorrow against Winnipesaukee and against Ocean State, the Gulls could pick up a full game as well. But they have to win both if they want to gain any ground, because even if they split with the Muskrats and the Waves, they'll be back even. This one chopped off the glove of Reed to the 2nd baseman, Scott. He will apply the tag to Durr, and the inning is over. For the Newport Gulls, no runs on no hits. They will leave 2 aboard with no New Bedford errors. We go to the top half of inning number 8 here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, with your score, Newport 7, New Bedford 2. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. As we go to the top half of inning number 8 here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, Newport with a 7-2 lead over the New Bedford Bay Sox here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. 500 free Newport Gulls team posters were given out before the game, courtesy of Regine Printing. A little bit of a special treat here for you. Joining us in the broadcast booth, the former voice of the Newport Gulls for 13 years and quite frankly, to be honest, probably wouldn't be here without him. Nick Lima will join us in the broadcast booth. Nick, great to have you here. Thanks so much for coming back.
It's good to be here. It's been a long summer, and this place has always been home to me, home since 2004, and to be away as long as I actually haven't been inside Cardine since last August, if you can believe it or not. And to be back here tonight is very special, and it's been far too long. It's probably the longest separation I've had from Cardine since '04.
New pitcher on the mound for the Newport Gulls is Cole O'Connor, as Cody Doyle ropes this one into right center field, cut off there in the alley, moving to his right by Liam O'Regan. It's a leadoff single for Doyle. And Nick, of course, 13 years you have been the voice of the Newport Gulls. Have things changed at all? Of course, you talk about this is your first time here back in a while. Does it feel the same?
Well, for me, yes. It feels like the summer never ended because it was a long summer last year. I had a dual role. I was baseball operations director, also the part-time broadcaster, media relations director too, so it feels like it never ended.
Jordan Fucci steps in. The Samford center fielder fouls off the first pitch he sees.
Much has changed, though, over the last really 17 years. The Gulls have been here. The crowds, of course, have always grown, and the organization has become such an integral part of the community. But the one thing that's been a constant is the excitement of games at Cardines Field. I've seen some of the absolute best baseball games at any level of my lifetime right here in this ballpark, and that is still rings true today.
Certainly, and we'll see what O'Connor can do here against Fucci. He chops this one foul off his front foot, the count 0-2. Can you take us back to the early 2000s when this all started, when you, Nick Lima, of course, with Tom Lima, broadcasting these games? What was that like, and what kind of gave you the idea to start broadcasting?
Well, we had no
games?
idea what we were doing. We had to figure everything out. Broadcasting online was in its infancy. There was no Ustream, there was no YouTube when we started. And really, we had to figure things out as we went along, and we had to sort of invent technologies and make things work that otherwise probably wouldn't have worked or been designed to work that way. We spliced wires together, and we got some technology from the 80s, and we revitalized it to make it work and produce a pretty Nesson-type broadcast in 2004.
Fucci looks at a changeup to even the count at 2-2. Cole O'Connor out of Dartmouth with a 4.70 ERA. He's 0-1. He has thrown 15.1 innings this year. He's on the mound. Sets the black glove, letter high, 2-2. Misses upstairs, 3-2. And, of course, being here for 13 years, have you seen things progress with the media team here in terms of graphics and personnel?
Oh, it's been incredible. The Newport Gulls organization from Chuck Baver on down have been so supportive.
3-2 swung on and missed by Fucci. Second time he goes down on strikes. First strikeout for O'Connor, one away.
Every year or two, this new capital equipment board. I'm looking right here at a brand new, very nice audio board, better than anything I ever had in my time here. So every year under Tom Lima, this department has made big leaps and bounds and huge changes, and really it's been a model for the rest of the league to follow for a long time, and I think it will continue to be in the foreseeable future. And really, I don't think you guys have really missed a beat since I left, that's for sure.
Well, we've certainly missed your presence, absolutely. Chandler DeBras steps in, the shortstop out of Central Connecticut State, looks at a curveball high. It's 1-0. O'Connor deals the next pitch. Fastball misses up and away. 2-0. He falls behind, but certainly, and with all that experience, how big of your life is broadcasting? 2-0 pitch on the way, fouled straight back, 2-1.
Well, for me, I just think about how many hours I sat right here in this broadcast booth and at probably 20 or 22 different ballparks all over New England as teams moved and changed locations over the years. And so many incredible memories here of walk-off grand slams and an unassisted triple play I saw here in 2005, one of the rarest plays in baseball. Those memories are going to be with me the rest of my life.
2-1 curveball in the dirt. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. Another guy we have to talk about, Tom Lima, your brother, has been such an integral part of this Newport Gulls media team as well.
I was 19 when I started here in 2004 as a volunteer, and Tommy was, I believe, 12 or 13 at the time, and he was in middle school, and he was one of our producers. He wasn't the big shot he is now yet, but he was learning. He was learning the equipment. And within 2 years, by 2005, end of 05 into 06, Tom Lima was running this entire operation and running it he'd be here at noontime, 1 o'clock, setting up and getting wires run and inventing new ways to with a limited budget to produce what you see on the Point Streak broadcast. And it's really incredible how much we've grown over the years, and it's all thanks to Tom.
Absolutely, and he is in the broadcast operations room, always doing a great job with Shannon Carlson as well, who has been spectacular with this media team, as Chandler DeBross was able to see the 3-1 pitch off the plate. He worked a 1-out walk. Runners on first and second for Zach Scott, who swings and misses. And of course, Cardines Field, one of the most historic places. Such a great place to call games as well.
And on tonight, of all nights, a very special night as well.
A 1 swung on and missed, 0-2.
I saw a half a dozen senators, several of whom I know pretty well. I saw the former Senate President, Teresa Paiva-Weed, here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. And it's nights like tonight that really bring the community together, raises a lot of money for a very good cause.
0-2 chop to first, gloved by McGill, throws the second for 1. A nice scoop there by the shortstop, Steele. It's a fielder's choice, 3-6. To third base goes Doyle, and there's 2 away.
And to be part of something like that again and again, it's very special. And and everyone in this organization, every intern, every volunteer, every player, the coaches, the trainer, the sponsors, the host families, they all contribute, and the fans, of course, as well. And they all feel part of these nights, these special occasions, and they all contribute in their own way, and it has an impact in the community. It's noticed. And the Gulls really have made their mark here over the last 17 seasons. Because I think second baseman McGill, I know his brother well.
Luke Bacala steps and he fouls off the first pitch he sees. But 2 away, runners on the corner, 7-2 Newport. And that's what's so great about this community. Alex and I have talked about this numerous times. It's the passion and the energy that you can feel the second you walk in the ballpark.
Actually, when I started here, Sean McGill was a Gulls catcher, 04 and 05, and he had a lengthy minor league career. I believe he's a coach now. I think he might have visited actually recently. But Sean was an incredible, scrappy player to watch, very hardworking at Boston College, and to see that family connection continue a decade later, that's also something sensational.
1-1 curveball taken downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. And to further your point, tonight's total attendance, 2,879. And you can feel that. You can feel everyone in here. You can feel the passion. 2-1 pitch. Skied foul right side, 2-2. And that's just one of the many unbelievable aspects of the Gulls organization and of the Newport, Rhode Island area.
Yeah, and when you see attendance surpass 50,000 fans year after year, and this year a couple of Friday night rainouts might knock it down a couple thousand, but even then it's still so significant.
2-2 pitch hits Bacala on that front side elbow or wrist. It will load the bases for Karsten Sherman. And, that's a great point as well. And, of course, you've called numerous championships here for the Newport Gulls. Have to ask you, what was that like? And can you kind of take me back to some of those memories?
Let's see. I had the call for the 2004, 5, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, and 14 league championship series. Not all of which the Gulls won, but to be there on both sides was just an honor.
Sherman steps in, looks at a fastball knee high off the outer blackets, 1-0. And Newport looking to do the same here, but certainly have to play consistent baseball down the stretch. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1.
And it's not insurmountable. Anything can happen in summer collegiate baseball. Teams that are hot in June can all of a sudden falter in July, and vice versa. And there's still some time left. I know the Gulls have a tough schedule here the next couple of weeks, but anything can happen, and it's not over till it's over.
1-1, skied in the air down the right field line. Moving over to his left is the right fielder in Blade. He looks it out of play. So, no, and certainly, that's an interesting point because Newport entering play here tonight, 4.5 games out of that third and final playoff spot, which since you've been here, of course, the playoffs have changed. Not sure what you think of that rule, but it makes things more competitive.
It narrows the field, so you're really getting the best of the best in August. And, the Gulls aren't used to being in this position, certainly, but every year you have a new group of guys and a new set of challenges, and this is just another new set of challenges for the Gulls to have to face.
1-2 curveball taken about ankle high. The count now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It also says a lot about the growth of this league and how the league has developed, and the competition has been incredible from year to year.
Break-even delivery. Misses wide. Count pushes full, 3-2. The runners will be off with the pitch. Top 8, 2 away, bases loaded, 7-2. Newport leads over New Bedford. A huge pitch we are awaiting here between O'Connor and Sherman. It's on the way, swung on and missed for strike 3. Great job there by Cole O'Connor for the New Bedford Base Sox. No runs on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded. No Newport errors. We will go to the bottom half of inning number 8. Hopefully Nick will join us here for the bottom half of the frame. Newport leads New Bedford 7-2. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. The bottom half of inning number 8 we go here at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Newport leads over New Bedford by a score of 7-2 here on Mark Weed Memorial Scholarship Night. A new pitcher on the mound for the New Bedford Bay Sox. It's Logan Maitland out of CCRI, Community College of Rhode Island, a rising senior thus far for Maitland. A 7.50 ERA. He does not have a decision. He has thrown 6 innings. This is his 5th appearance, giving up 5 earned runs on 5 hits, has walked 4, struck out 8. Opponents are hitting .238 against him. Of course, Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt, Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout, and the former voice of the Newport Gulls, Nick Lima, the 13-year voice of the Gulls. He is listed as the broadcaster emeritus, and rightly so. We would not be sitting here without him, and of course his brother Tom Lima, who started this. And Nick, you know, of course it's great to have you back here. What have you been up to since your broadcasting days with Newport?
Well, as many of our fans probably know, I was the broadcaster for a long time, and last year the Gulls gave me an incredible opportunity to move up in the front office and take over as director of baseball operations, and I had a chance to really see the organization from a perspective I'd never seen before, and really up my involvement to really a 100-hour-a-week position in the season last summer. Well, then the election happened last year. I've always been involved in a little politics in my hometown, the city of Cranston, Rhode Island. And after the election, I was offered a position in municipal government in Cranston as the registrar, board of canvassers, as the basically director of elections for the city. And it's not easy leaving the Gulls, but for me, it was an opportunity to really learn and do something new that I also enjoyed and loved. And started that in January, and my phone still rings every now and then from our new director of baseball ops, Mike Falcone, with a question or two. But yeah, it was a new opportunity, a new chance for me to branch out and learn something different, and that I also, like I said, I also enjoy very much, and that's being involved in public service.
Of course, it is great having you back here with us. Dominic Dorenzo, J.J. Blade, Liam McGill, hitters 4, 5, and 6, all due up to face Maitland out of the Community College of Rhode Island. He throws from the right side with a sidearm arm slot as Dorenzo fouls off the first pitch he sees. It is 0-1. How much do you miss it? How much do you miss being here and being on the air?
I think about it every day. I really do. Not just being here on the air or in the booth, but on the team bus, going up to Sanford, or seeing some of these very, very picturesque ballparks around New England, whether it's Paul Walsh Field in New Bedford, or you're heading up to Joe Wolf Field for the All-Star game and up in North Adams, which is always a great sight, Montpelier Recreation, Vermont. And these are some real great places to watch a game.
Next pitch from Maitland misses upstairs. The count is 3 balls and a strike here on Dorenzo.
So it's really the full experience. You know, everything from being in the broadcast booth, which of course was always the most fun part, but everything that happens around the team too.
This one, Scott in the air, shallow right field. Scott and Schock will converge. It will be the second baseman, Scott, I should say, to reach up and make the play for out number 1. It's a P4 if you are keeping score with us at home. Here comes Drew Archiolo, who will pinch hit for J.J. Blade. But certainly, you know, you've made so many memories here. And did any of those cross through your head as you walked in the Cardines field for the first time?
Instantaneously. And the first thing, being the baseball ops director, I noticed the trash cans were a little full. So I said, I got to get these trash cans emptied. I immediately went back into that mode. Where's my assistant intern?
Drew Archiolo steps in, looks at a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1 on the Fairfield product. Archiolo bats from the right side here against Maitland. 0-1 taken downstairs, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. How was it being the director of baseball operations, and how was it, you know, maybe stepping away from broadcasting or a little bit at the time to fulfill that role?
Well, it's very stressful. I can say that. It's certainly a stressful position to be in, but it's also rewarding. And I think I learned more in that 9 or 10 months that I was baseball ops director here than I did in the 5 or 6 years previously as a media relations director in broadcast.
2-1 swung on a miss by Archiolo. He's hitting .218 this year. He is 17 for 78. He's also scored 13 runs. And that's an interesting transition because those are two, fairly unrelated roles here in the organization. Break-even offering hits Archiolo on the front side shoulder. It's a one-out hit by pitch to bring up Liam McGill.
That one looked like it smarted a little bit. Well, for me, being the media relations person for so long and kind of coming into the baseball ops role only a couple of months before the season started last year, I still retain that media relations title. And I ended up doing both jobs, really. And I also was training Tolan Vaccaro, who did a fine job as broadcaster last summer. So that was the most difficult part, was balancing my time and trying to maintain the high level the Gulls expect from all those various aspects, which are, as you said, very different from each other.
Liam McGill steps in, looks at a fastball up and in towards his hands. It is 1-0 on McGill here tonight. He is 1 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBI and a walk. He's been excellent, the Columbia product. Swings an all-tan bat here against Maitland. Sets the black glove, letter high, the pitch home. Misses down and away, the count 2 balls and no strikes. And of course, you're up here in the broadcast booth with us, and even just the little things, right? You see the monitors, you see the graphics for everyone watching at home on the NECBL Broadcast Network. How has that changed since, the 2000s, whenever you started?
We were using some sort of iteration of an Apple II PC as a character generator back in 04 and 05, and we upgraded that over time. The cameras have gone from little camcorders that you might have in your house to actual HD 3-chip cameras, and that's been a big portion of progress. But it's the little things too. It's the things like you do on the air here with the commercials between innings that presents that professional broadcast that you're sitting at home, and this could very well be a major league broadcast in the format and the flow. And I think that's something that we've built here that we're very proud of, and I'm so glad it's just continuing.
Maitland works out of the stretch from the first base side of the rubber, 2-1 as Archiolo goes. Pitch a called strike, throw to second from Doyle is in time. It's a great tag from the second baseman, Scott, and there are 2 away. Whenever you began this, Nick, let me ask you this. Is this what you envisioned? Did you envision it to progress to the way that it has?
I envision eventually a TV truck and a 15-camera Super Bowl-style operation with a crew of thousands. That was my ultimate goal. I always dream big. And
2-2 waved at and missed by McGill. And that is the frame. Newport retired in order 1, 2, 3.
I always dream big, and that was Tommy's job, was to bring me back down to earth. But before we sign off, I just want to give a quick shout out. A couple of my long-time loyal listeners and viewers, Coach Long, Candy Long, I miss you both down in Florida, hope all is well, David Awamley, and so many others out there who have been loyal Newport Gulls fans for so long, and we're always fans of my broadcasts, and just to be back here and see how everything is still doing well here in the broadcast booth, it's just outstanding to see. I really thank you for having me on.
Always great having you, Nick. Thank you for everything, and of course we would not be here without you, your brother Tom, and everyone here in the Newport Gulls organization. With that being said, we will go to the top half of the 9th inning with your score: Newport 7, New Bedford 2. Nick, thanks so much. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network. Cole O'Connor still on the mound for the Newport Gulls, as stepping in for the New Bedford Bay Sox is Dan Schock. He skies this one to right field. Liam O'Regan, who moves over from left to right field, comes in, but he's called off by the second baseman, Durr, who puts it away for out number 1. Also now into the ball game, Drew Archiolo in left field, as Cole O'Connor still on the mound for Newport. Of course, Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside the voice of the Bay Sox, Alex Levitt, and Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout, along with Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. Alex, we'll see if New Bedford can get the offense going here with 1 away. This one chopped to second by Michael Martinez. A diving stop by Durr. He has no play. It's an infield single with 1 away here in the top half of the 9th.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if that counts as getting the offense going, but it was definitely good to see at least Bacala and Schock put a little something together in that 7th inning, get some runs on the board. Doesn't really change much, but at least, makes the Bay Sox offense feel like at least it did a little bit of something. before the night's out. But I guarantee you every guy in this lineup wants another chance to get up to the plate and maybe put one out there like Mike Martinez just did after he had the hat trick. Now he's got a hit.
So Drew Archiolo now in left field, Liam O'Regan now in right as Nick Neville swings over top a O'Connor changeup. It is 0-1 on Nick Neville, who is 0 for 3. Of course, we want to thank Nick Lima for joining us here in the broadcast booth, the former voice of the Newport Gulls for 13 years. This one is fouled off left side there by Nick Neville, 0-2. Interesting to hear how all of this started by, of course, Nick Lima and Tom Lima.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, this is kind of the goal of every other team in this league, is really to get a setup like this. And you guys just put on such a great show every single night.
0-2 changeup misses wide, 1 ball and 2 strikes. No, certainly, and you know, it's not just the technology; it's everyone in, you know.
Well, it's the people involved, because you know that's really what you need. You need a crew of dedicated, really. Go ahead.
1-2 changeup again. Misses off the outside corner, 2-2.
Dedicated, talented, motivated people who are just trying to put on a great show every single night, and it seems like that's what you guys have. And you do a great job consistently on an every night basis. Haven't had one technical problem since I've been here in I think 3 trips.
2-2 lifted in the air, shallow right field. Oncoming is O'Regan. He makes the play, chest high, 2 away.
And if you watch our home broadcasts, you know how miraculous that is.
2 away for Cody Doyle, the catcher out of Sacred Heart. Well, it's always fun working with you, Alex. Always fun going out to New Bedford, to Paul Walsh Field. Very spacious press box up there. Great people as well who are, of course, passionate about baseball.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a great staff. We just don't have necessarily the number of people dedicated to the broadcast product. It's really just me.
This one grounded to second, gloved by Durr, shuffles to his left, throw to first, and the ball game is over. The Gulls fly high here tonight at Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island, with a 7-2 victory over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Newport improves to 13-19 with their second win in a row. The Bay Sox fall to 15-20. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls postgame show starts next, right here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Welcome back here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls fly high here tonight with a 7-2 win over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Newport improves to 13-19. The Gulls are now on a 2-game winning streak. It's the second winning streak the Gulls have had all year. New Bedford falls to 15-20. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxoud, the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Lovett, and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. For Newport, 7 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. For New Bedford, 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. Taking the win for Newport, it's the starter out of Bryant. Jack Patterson, the lefty, was excellent here tonight. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs on 3 hits. He struck out 12, only walked 2. Cole O'Connor also threw 2 scoreless innings for Newport, struck out 2, walked 1, and gave up 2 hits. So Patterson grabs the win. Taking the loss is Serafino Brito, the right-hander out of Rutgers, through 5 innings, giving up 6 runs, 4 of those earned on 10 hits, struck out 5 and walked 2. Pacing Newport's offense offensively was Carter Aldretti. He extended his hitting streak to 10 games. He went 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Dom DiRenzo, the catcher out of Oklahoma, went 2 for 5 with a run scored. But Newport offensively certainly found its rhythm, out hitting New Bedford 11-5. Pacing the Bay Sox offense was Luke Bacala. He went 1 for 2 with a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Alex, your thoughts on this one?
Well, this was a game that really was over pretty quickly. You know, the game kind of played itself out. The scoreboard is not really going to tell the entire story of this one. But look, Newport just seized command. Brito was a little bit wild within the zone. He was throwing strikes. The ball count was a little bit elevated from his season average. But really, he just left too many pitches over the plate, specifically 4-seam fastballs in that inning. He couldn't get the 2-seamer over. He had to go with the 4-seamer to try and get strikes. Newport just sat dead red, put up 5. Really could have put up more. They still had the bases loaded with 5 runs already home, and the game was effectively over at that point. Bay Sox didn't play too bad the rest of the way. Put together a couple of hits in that 7th inning, but overall it was probably a continuation for the Bay Sox of this last week. I wouldn't say this was a breakout game.
Absolutely. Newport will take on Winnipesaukee tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. before traveling out to South Kingstown, Rhode Island to take on Ocean State at 6:30. And New Bedford will host Winnipesaukee tomorrow at Paul Walsh Field, a home game for the Bay Sox against Winnipesaukee at 6:30. Alex, always a pleasure working with you. Best of luck to you guys the rest of the way. We will now throw the post-game show over to Gulls scorekeeper Ben Maxout and Gulls field reporter Dave Peck. I'll go down to the field, interview our player of the game when we come back. This is the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Thank you, Darren. Once again, your final score from Newport in Cardines Field. The Gulls take this one. Final score 7-2 over the New Bedford Bay Sox. Jack Patterson, certainly the story of this game, going 7 innings, giving up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, while striking out 12. He was dominant all night. Cole O'Connor doing a great job coming in, going 2 innings, giving up no runs and 2 hits for the Gulls. Offensively, it was a hit parade from the get-go as they did a great job jumping out and getting that early lead with 5 runs in the second inning. And basically everybody up and down this Newport lineup was contributing in the game. You see Dom Dorenzo with 2 hits, Liam McGill with the hit and 2 RBIs. Carter Aldretti, talked about him earlier in the broadcast. Aldretti now extending his hit streak to 10 straight games, 3 home runs in the past 3 games. And of course the 2 RBIs, one of them coming with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, which proved to be a huge RBI for the Gulls. One thing we have not seen much of this season is a complete game from start to finish. And it started with Jack Patterson getting ahead in counts and striking out as many batters as he could. He really, at one point, was so hot he retired 10 straight of these New Bedford Bay Sox. And the defense behind him did a great job committing no errors. New Bedford committed 2 errors on the night. Final score again, 7-2. Gulls take this one. They improved to 13-19 on the year. And we will look at the scoreboard around the league. Final scores rolling in from the NECBL. Winnipesaukee holds on to that 6-5 win in Winnipesaukee Muskrats over the Mainers. Mystic Schooners come back in their contest versus the Valley Blue Sox. They win that one 6-3, and that will prove to be a big one for Southern Division playoff implications, as the Gulls do not pick up any ground on the Schooners as they take that one 6-3 at Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut. Bottom of the 8th inning over in Vermont at Montpelier Field. The Ocean State Waves are up 7-0 on that one, trying to bounce back after that 3-2 loss to the Gulls last night at Old Mountain Field. And bottom of the 9th, Upper Valley Nighthawks holding on to a 9-7 lead over the Steeplecats. Bottom 7, Plymouth Pilgrims lead the Keene Swamp Bats 10-8. As I welcome in Ben Maxout, official scorekeeper of the Newport Gulls. Ben, from start to finish, just a complete game. Jack Patterson obviously magical on the mound tonight. I think it's safe to say that. And offensively, this team was all over the score sheet.
This was just a fantastic team win. There's really nothing more to say than that. You had Jack Patterson with this stretch. The Gulls realize they need to conserve pitching because you do not want guys getting burnt out in this stretch. Jack Patterson, he showed up and he did what he needed to do, and that was be a bulldog, get those innings. Cole O'Connor, he ran into trouble, he got out of jams, and he finished the game. So you really had to only have to use 2 pitchers in this game is a good start, in my opinion, in the stretch when it comes to conserving pitching. The defense was spotless, did not have an error, so that's definitely something to hang their hat on. In the offense, once again, Carter Aldretti, who has been absolutely on fire, continues his torrid pace in helping to lead this victory. You had Liam McGill back in the lineup. He contributed, and J.C. Flowers, who's been hitting the cover off the ball. He just hasn't had any RBIs. He had his first 2 tonight. There's a lot to be happy about with this Gulls win. However, you have Mystic winning, so the Gulls still kind of struggling to gain ground in that playoff race. Tomorrow, though, with a doubleheader, they have a chance to, especially with Mystic not playing. So this playoff race is really starting to get interesting as the Gulls heat up in this final stretch.
Of course, the Gulls will have a doubleheader tomorrow. They'll play 2 different ball clubs in this NECBL matchup. They will host the Winnipesaukee Muskrats from the Northern Division. The Muskrats 14-20 on the year. And after that one, they will head over the bridge and complete the Pell Bridge Series against the Ocean State Waves. That one will be a big one, as Darren Zaslow has Jack Patterson, player of the game, downfield side. We're going to send it on down to him. Darren?
Thanks so much, guys. Welcome back to the Newport Gulls post-game show. Newport victorious over the New Bedford Bay Sox by a final score of 7-2. Darren Zaslow with you here, joined alongside Newport Gulls player of the game, Jack Patterson. The Bryant Southpaw earned the win here tonight. He improves to 1-2 on the season, throwing 7 innings, giving up 2 earned runs on 3 hits with 12 strikeouts. Jack, how'd you feel on the mound?
I felt great. I mean, the first inning was a little shaky. Wasn't commanding my fastball great. Was throwing the curveball in the dirt. Was burying it, and I just wanted to reset, wanted to flush that inning, and go out and give my team the best chance to win. Our backs up are against the wall right now, and it's crunch time, and we need to just play hard. And I just want to give my team the best shot to win.
A key second inning for Newport here tonight. 5 runs scored. How much confidence did that give you on the mound?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, when you can pitch with a 5-run lead like that and just feel comfortable and settle in and just attack with the zone, that's what me and Dom wanted to do once we hit that lead, and it was just awesome. Our offense was great today. We were making the plays. We were running great 90s. It's just a good team win today.
Newport out hits New Bedford 11-5. The Gulls play a clean slate of defense. Fair to say, Jack, one of the most well-rounded games Newport's played all year.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's what we needed, and we got a big day, big long day tomorrow. We got 18 innings, so we just need to enjoy this win, but we need to get back tomorrow and win another 18 innings, get a little win streak going.
Well, Jack, thanks so much and best of luck. Newport will travel to take on Ocean State tomorrow at 6:30, but will host Winnipesaukee at 1 p.m. before Game 6 of the Pell Bridge Series. For Jack Patterson, I'm Darren Zaslow. Don't go anywhere. The Newport Gulls post-game show continues next.
Thank you, Darren. Again, your final score here from Cardines Field. Newport Gulls win this one 7-2. Jack Patterson picks up the win, and they will have a doubleheader tomorrow as they are fighting for their life to try and reach that 3rd place spot here in the Southern Division to get an NECBL playoff berth in 2017. And we are going to send it back down field side to Darren to close things up here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Darren?
Welcome back to the post-game show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Darren Zaslow with you here as Newport defeats New Bedford 7-2 as the Gulls improve to 13-19 overall. New Bedford falls to 15-20. The Gulls still 4.5 games behind the Mystic Schooners for the 3rd and final playoff spot in the NECBL's Southern Division. Jack Patterson, the Bryant lefty, was the starting pitcher here tonight. He improved to 1-2. He was our Newport Gulls player of the game. And before we sign off, we'd like to thank everyone who played a role in tonight's broadcast. Our executive producer and director, Tom Lima. Our producer, Shannon Carlson. Our associate producer is Rob Sanchez. Our audio tech is Lucas Malley. Sam Salinger is our on-site engineer. Maddie Peters is our social media coordinator. Our field reporter, Dave Peck. Our statistician, Ben Maxoud. And, of course, for the voice of the New Bedford Bay Sox, Alex Levitt, I am Darren Zaslow saying so long from the city by the sea.